rest of your food in a matter of 1 or 2 freezes. Well played by Mika. TOA, obviously knowing now to get those special attacks out a bit earlier. Obviously, it's not over yet. That is 1 round, and Mika leads the fight 1-0 versus TOA.
Yes, these are not best of 3s, by the way. We are going to see 3 full fights where a win is a point, and obviously a loss is unfortunately no points towards the top 8 that were qualified today. Now, again, Ian, I missed the wheel already. You know, the wheel's gone. In these, they're all choosing their gear setups. As far as I'm aware, Mika chose that max NH. I'm not too sure if he had the highest seed in the qualifiers, but I don't know if this is going off the highest seed from yesterday. We'll try and find out that list so we can be up to date and get the information. Good. It is the highest seed from yesterday. I don't have that list anywhere, but we will find it. That being said, I don't know who had the highest seed, but whoever did not have the highest seed has chosen the standard setup for this next one. The Dragon Claws will be coming out, and this, every player knows this setup. This is the standard NH staking in the arena that everyone is practicing with the Deadman Mode All-Stars to see how they do in the final. We've worked out Mika has the highest seed, and he chose the max NH, even though it said it was worst on the head-to-head. Standard NH is coming in from TOA.
Yeah, TOA done so much PvP practice in the PvP arena, in Last Man Standing as well. This is a setup that just everybody uses for all of these kind of tournaments. Now, of course, Mage doesn't look to be the strongest attack style, only having the Mystics. The Magus Ring does help carry it a lot, though. But if you get caught in those robes, you're going to take so much damage. I think TOA is one of those players that is so good at keeping that tank gear on. Saying that, we are jumping into the fight. Here come the fireworks, and we begin. Mika's chucking a ball. TOA retaliating a ball as well. Zipping in and out. Beautiful ball proc. 52 off prayer. What a start for TOA. He's coming swinging. Mika from the claw spec from afar, but another ball proc now retaliated from TOA. Double claw spec there from Mika. I believe the second one was off prayer. It was a 25 only, though. Catching a freeze on TOA and getting that DD advantage. Being able to zip out, control the pace of the fight, as you see here. Doing the Raxon, as he calls it. A 30 there off prayer. TOA taking so much damage. 24 ball proc through the prayer as well. TOA getting a lot of his prayers right, just getting a little bit unlucky or not retaliating as much DPS back. TOA still has that full switch attack, getting here 44 though in that moment. He's going afar rather than sending a special attack off. He needs to learn from his mistakes from the previous fight. Needs to go for that claw spec nice and early. Both players trying to catch freezes though, and TOA not going for the claws, just trying to get some hits off prayer to gain a bit of damage back again. He went for a brew there, reduced his magic defense bonus. As a result, Mika did catch that freeze. Now Mika has the DD advantage, and TOA still unable to get that claw spec off. In the result, Mika now actually has 10% special attack already, so towards the end of the fight, he will get a special attack, whereas TOA may not. TOA does catch the 32 barrage and now has the DD advantage. Will he send the claw spec boating?
Well, the question as well is if you do actually have special attacks and Mika knows TOA has the full 100, Mika is now being forced to pray melee a lot more to prevent or actually predict that TOA is going to dump those claws to get rid of that spec. And in retaliation, TOA did manage to get a couple of bolts there off the prayer because Mika was praying melee in anticipation of the claws they had to get through. Now, again, for any viewer's perspective from home, when we do jump back into it, we are in the Mika POV, but we can explain who we will always be spectating just to make it maybe a little bit easier for you guys to actually see who is actually playing for the POV that we have.
Yeah, looking at the tracker right now on the screen, the bottom number is the damage. Oh my god, what a huge claw spec from TOA. He's up quite a bit of damage there, about 50 damage increase on that claw spec. Beautiful from him, goes distance. He loves to play that distance after 31 barrage into a bolt off prayer. It's a 0, unfortunately for him. Mika does catch the freeze, stops in his track, but TOA retaliates with a freeze as well. Now both players frozen a couple of tiles away from each other. We don't have Noxious Halberds in this setup, so they can only use ranged and melee. Right here, it's so important to be off tick and not to get caught in the robes. You get caught in the robes, you're going to get taken a lot more damage. The defense of those
Mika beat TOA.
Nothing, especially against the power of the Both players now unfrozen, stepping away from each other. Mika going for that fresh refreeze. TOA retaliating with some hits off prayer instead, trying to increase that lead that he has right now. Mika trying to go for a whip, but TOA slipping away to the corner of the map, catching the freeze, stepping underneath. Now he does have that DD advantage once again. Mika no longer has any combo food. TOA 20% special attack, but Mika has regained a whole Dragon Claw special boating.
This is actually a chance where Mika might even see 4 Dragon Claws in this, because again, if TOA does recharge that back to 30% right there, to 50%, he will get a 3rd spec, but if Mika doesn't get the 4th spec, then at the end of the day, it is the same. It's just you do not know that in the moment. of the fights right now. Now, Torvesta is frozen here. He has caught Mika though, and I do believe he might unfreeze in a moment. And there's one thing I've realized is Torvesta's opted to listen to music while he plays, you know. Maybe that helps him lock in a bit more in these fights. But again, 30% spec on Torvesta. Just to remind everyone, if we are ever spectating any fights, the player in the top left corner of the screen is always going to be the player that we have the focus camera on.
Yeah, these fights, of course, being in the standard edge setup, a little bit less DPS, so you do have a longer fight. As a result, Torvesta feels like, I guess, you know, holding off on that special attack early on means he's still going to recharge that extra one. He's 40% special attack now, and he's 10% more. The next minute, he will be getting that back again. We saw a beautiful spec off prayer from Torvesta to increase his commanding lead. Torvesta now unfrozen. Mika getting hit a 43 whip from Torvesta. A bolt off prayer as well as a 42. That was a chance. One more damage, and he's out of the game. Torvesta takes the fight in the standard edge setup.
There it is, 1v1.
I mean, again, at the end of the day, dropping the claw specs or holding him for a while, it can be considered a mistake, but is it the difference in winning or losing a fight? Yes, it can be. In that fight, absolutely not. That was some domination right there from Torvesta. He had so much food left in his inventory, and Mika is not someone that's going to fall over easily. But other than that, we're jumping into the back end of the Big O versus his first pick in Deadman All-Stars 3. Doobie Doobies himself to score currently 2-0 to the Big O. And again, Ian, look at the inventory over and Oda. He is on form today. He is easily, potentially going to be in that top 3 minimum.
Oh, absolutely. Look at the difference. All the brews that Oda Block still has in his disposal to be able to combat me out of any KO opportunity that Doobies might present himself with. Doobies down to only 3 anglerfish now. This is why Oda Block was a captain of the All-Stars and seems to be a man to be feared, as they say, in the PvP world. Oda Block being frozen in place, but going for a 32 barrage on Doobies. Doobies now going to be unfrozen first. He doesn't have such attack for quite a while. Oda Block just barraging, hitting off prayer, so much damage. Doobies now out of supplies. He only has 91 HP to play with, but looking at Oda Block's inventory, he has almost a full inventory of supplies, Boaty.
Absolutely incredible. And it looks like one of these players as well, round 3, and Oda Block having, I believe, higher seeding than Doobies. It looks like Oda Block did choose this standard H setup. 2 stab bashes coming in for the O. Maybe it's just adding insult to injury for the first pick of the All-Stars, but Doobies does fall, and Oda Block already
this guy had like almost all his food and everything.
200 hit point advantage of food in his inventory, and that was the 3rd fight. Again, Doobies jumping into a fight with Oda Block as his debut. That is no easy challenge right
Oda
there.
cannot
Oda
lose
Block,
this.
he was making like
He loses the tournament, son. Holy crap.
Yeah, that's a seed 2 versus a
This
seed
is his chance to finally win something.
He's fantastic at this game. For Oda to do that, he must be absolutely on point and must be so confident today. And I'm really looking forward to his future fights. Jumping back in though to Mika and Torvesta right now. Again, these are not best of 3s. It is 3 matches. Obviously, Oda Block beat Doobies 3-0, but again, one of these players will step out here with a 2-1.
Yeah, absolutely. We're jumping into the pure setup now. Torvesta going for that DDSer off prayer. Obviously, having the lower defense on the pures means when you do connect those bolts, those DDSers, they are going to hit. We're not going to see many zeros in these fights. Looks like right now, Mika POV going up right now. He's actually opting for a little bit of actually auto-casting to make the switches a little bit easier for him. Obviously, in this, land tournament, so much on the line, $10,000 to play for. We have both players frozen away from each other. Torvesta coming in. Mika anticipating a DDS, going for a DDS of his own. That's a 0-18 on the run. A back-to-back, a beautiful play, but Torvesta does see it coming. A triple specker. Torvesta did prey 2 of them. Really well played, actually, by Torvesta. Catches the freeze, gets the DD advantage once again, can control the pace of the fight. Currently, another auto-cast selection there from Mika. He's down just a little bit of damage, but he has utilized most of his special attacks. Blood Barrage seems to be his way. We've seen this in lots of demo modes, lots of All-Stars as well. Blood Barrage does heal you damage based on the damage dealt. Another DDS, but Torvesta does catch the prey melee as well. He is playing so well defensively right now. Now Mika unfrozen, but gets frozen in place instantly by Torvesta. Torvesta has 95% special attack energy.
This is a fight right now between the two. Again, the inventories are quite similar. There could be a chance that Mika potentially will burger the potions, but I think both of these players know how well to deal with all of this. And again, hard to call this one, but at least both of these players have managed to earn 1 point onto the board of their seeding, while Doobies will unfortunately be sat at the bottom with a 0 after its 3-0 defeat in the first round. As of right now, these two are playing to get their 2nd point to potentially be a little bit behind, as they have no idea, of course, what the scores are between any other fights. They are locked in and focusing only on their own fight right now. Again, Did we miss any volatile specs? I'm not sure. But jumping into Mika's inventory, he has no bruise right there. So if Torvesta, again, in these pure brackets, gets some big barrages, some big bolts, and punishes Mika, it's very hard for him to actually get out of that without just eating his whole inventory of food. But a fresh freeze from Mika onto Torvesta now, and he does have the DD advantage.
Yeah, Torvesta does love to hold that spec back, causing his opponents to have to constantly pray melee. To see there, Mika praying melee getting hit, 28 barrage off prayer. A staff bash from Torvesta, though, unfortunately loses a bit of momentum in that situation, but does have the DD, can step underneath, heal back to full hit points. He has 2 special attacks, goes for 1. Mika does pray accordingly. Another smash, another staff bash from Torvesta. Oh no. Mika gets back a spec. It's an off prayer this time, a 22. Not the biggest of damage, but still will bring him back into this fight. Looking at the inventories at the moment, Torvesta and Mika looking to be neck and neck. The same amount of food in the inventories. Mika has no special attack. Torvesta may get an extra one before the end of the fight. 35 barrage there from Mika, though. Goes for a bolt. Torvesta unfrozen, gets a fresh freeze on top of Mika. Steps underneath, heals to full HP, and decides what to do next. He has maybe 1 food less than his opponent, Mika. 28 blood barrage. He has the special attack. Mika just has to pray melee the entire time, giving Torvesta an opportunity to really ramp up the damage. So many free hits coming in. Beautiful spec off prayer there. That was like maybe a 35, 45 damage. Both players frozen away from each other. Boaty, who do you think is going to take this one right now? It's so close.
I mean, if we look at the food right now, Torvesta has the same health as Mika, roughly, if Mika eats the angle, but he has eaten the angle and the health is lower than Torvesta, and he has 3 hard food in the inventory. The first fight from Torvesta, maybe not the strongest with the 100% spec bar drain, but other than that, his second fight was absolutely beautifully played, and right now, Mika's definitely not out of this tournament yet, but Torvesta is going to try his best to make short work of this, but this is the pure bracket. Mika splashes a very important freeze. Torvesta catches the freeze, and Mika falls to the ground. Torvesta warmed up nice and early. 2-1 against Mika in the first round.
Yeah, I'm not sure we call that as well, actually. Right at the end of that fight, Mika regained special attack. He flew at Torvesta with a DDS. He specced him with it, and it actually was a pretty good chance. I think Torvesta survived by a sliver of hit points to like a 20 to 25 DDS spec. Those things are at 50 to 60. So Torvesta almost was the first KO of the tournament. And you guys almost bagged yourselves 10 mil GP. We've seen Torvesta die a few times in multi yesterday. Now, 1 versus 1, not as likely to happen with Torvesta on the sticks, but it could have done. And yeah, once again, Torvesta playing so well defensively, coming out of prey melees and just doing an amazing job. We're jumping in right now with Reese versus Solar Mission. These guys, the best of friends. Reese leading with 2-0 advantage. Reese was #1 seed. Solar Mission was at the bottom of the pack. That's why they're going up against each other right now. Looking at the inventories as well. Both players using a special attack off the bat. Solo getting a lot of big barrages in right now. Both using that special attack, but not doing too much damage. Beautiful barrage return there from Reese. Reese now unfrozen, gets that DD advantage. Once again, how is he going to play this? I'd imagine a 36 barrage. Oh my god, Ramil damage does an off-press spec. It's only a 2 claw though. Bit unfortunate for him. Solar Mission though, gets that freeze, steps underneath, and doing an amazing job of this battle. Staying in it, he needs that 1 point if he can grab it as well. This will be the last fight of round 1 though, T.
That is true. Reese 2-0 up against Solar Mission right now. This is the #3 seed of the UK one against the #4 seed of the US West right now. Directly next to each other in the qualifiers in the 1v1s, only against each other now because again, like you said, Reese was the #1 seed in the multi yesterday and Solar Mission unfortunately was at the bottom of the board. But right now, it's showing that Solar Mission, again, he's absolutely no pushover here, so we know that Reese is definitely locked in for this one right now. But again,
Reese definitely locked in.
Take Solar Mission down 3-0, or does Solar Mission have some tricks up his sleeves here to bring him back in the food situation right now? I want to say that Solar Mission is probably very slightly ahead. Hard to say actually with Reese having 9 anglerfish versus Solar Mission's 8, but the 5 doses.
I don't know what you're saying.
This could go anywhere. We're going to say that a lot of times today, but it's one of them where it's not, you know, we saw the Odin versus Doobie's fight. He had 200 health of food. We kind of know what's going to happen. We did see some reverse sweeps, but today, these are the best of the best going at each other. And I do think there's one thing we can most likely say. We're going to see Dragon Claw specs on both more before the end.
Oh, 100%. They're going to get a spec back, no problem. The setup obviously has a lot less DPS, but it is a lot more sweaty. A bit more of a competitive playstyle for a lot of these tournaments as well. Reese now trying to go for that free. Solar Mission doing the same. Both players splashing left, right, and center. Solo gets caught first. Reese does get the freeze and steps underneath. Beautiful 32 blood barrage as well, coming in a whipper. He's had 2 free hits. Can he make it free? Going for the ball off prayer as well. 3 free hits. That's not what we want to see for Solar Mission. That sucks for him. Reese thinking slowly, very meticulous about his movement, deciding what to do. Solution goes for the freeze, does splash, goes again, caught in the ropes though. Can he catch this next one to get back into this fight? He's splashing so much. Reese instantly catches the freeze and gets that DD advantage again. Another free hit for Reese. He's looking really solid in this one. A beautiful bolt of prayer.
They're switching weapons so fast. That's crazy. It's like they tick right when the tick goes off. They already have the mage weapon in their hand.
Only a 30 damage special attack. Now, Solomission, can he finally catch this freeze? No, he's splashing again. Finally, he catches it. He has Claw Spec as well, but I'm sure Reese knows that, having just used his own boating.
I mean, Reese just went a bit of a tear right there as well, securing many hits away from Solo Mission right now. I can tell you now, Reese is a man of the science. He is a man of the Diet Cokes, and right now,
man's Diet Cokes.
But with all those free hits, I don't think he's going to be losing on Tracker today. But
I need me go.
I've heard rumors as well that Reese has never actually lost on Tracker ever in his life, which is very, very surprising. But Solo Mission, unfortunately, out of food, eats his final one. No 10 mil giveaway today if Reese can secure this. But Solo Mission does have the 60% spike, 51%, 51 bolt hit on there. Traded for the claws though, and that's so unfortunate for Solo that his health dropped at the same time as Reese's. He doesn't have the ability there to turn it round with any level of momentum. A couple of bolts after that claws back could have had Reese eating half of his inventory of food right there. It could have brought Solo back into the fight, but unfortunately, even though Reese is frozen, Solo does have the DD. He has 4 Sunfu doses to work with him. Can he bring off some redemptions, or is Reese going to execute him? He does, and Reese starting the day.
Solo been freaking
3-0 against Solo Mission himself.
getting worked in this whole tournament.
Getting that claw spec and also chucking in that redemption thing. Of course, you get the prayer up on low HP. You can heal some more damage. You can stay alive for quite a bit.
Solo's been looking like a prey to all the lions out there.
It was, you know, too much for Solo Mission to come back into. Solo Mission, great nature all round though. You've got to give props where props is due, but Reese, he's just on another level compared to some of these guys. He's just insane at the game when it comes to NH staking, but still, great performance. First fight out of the way. That is round 1 done with. Of course, this tournament is going to be a round-robin style tournament. So there's Group A, there's Group B. Everyone's going to be fighting each other. Looking at the scoreboard right now, Boaty, what do we see?
I mean, I'm looking on Group B right now, and I am seeing 3 threes down the board. Odablock, Peta, and Laganarium all won their fights 3-0. It's these Mutts, Vancouver, and Doobies, unfortunately, behind again. The seeding from yesterday, or maybe even the qualifiers, I believe it's going to be always the yesterday seeding will decide why Mutts is above Vancouver and Doobies, but they're going to have an upwards hill battle to try and keep themselves in this competition. Group A, though, only Reese takes 3.
Yep, and looking at the board right now as well, of course, once more, 4 of these players, 2 from each group, are going to be knocked out after the round-robin stage. So after this 1 versus 1 group, we're going to say goodbye to 4 of these guys. Sync and Solo Mission, yeah, not what you want to see. Solo Mission was at the bottom of the board the entire time. Next up, for the round 2, we're going to be seeing Reese versus Torvesta.
This Solo Mission was the bottom of the board every time.
We're going to be seeing Overblock versus Laganarium, Doobie Dobies versus Peter, Mutt versus Vank. Which of those fights, Bo, are you most excited for?
I really like the recent Torvesta fight, but again, if we go down to the brackets again, they did fight in Group A, and Torvesta didn't, well, he did actually qualify into the quarters. So that fight I think would be really, really good. But, of course, I've been saying many times, I want to see Laganarium playing on the ping right now. But he is against the Big O. Both players are undefeated right now. So this is going to be a huge, if Laganarium could even take a point away from Odin now, that would be fantastic. But is the ping going to be a power-up for him, or is Odablock just going to command his lead and make this a 6-0?
I mean, when you actually see the off-prayer accuracy there of how many times you guys have hit people off prayer, Laganarium actually coming out 1% higher than Odablock. Not something that I'm sure many people would have considered, considering that, you know, Odablock is such a well-known, amazing PK. Laganarium a bit, you know, under the radar for many as well. And also the best setup, of course, for Odablock is the standard NH. But the worst setup for Laganarium is also the standard NH. So I'm sure if Odablock has caught wind of that information, he'll be deciding to, you know, choose that setup first.
Who do you think is going to win, ladies and gentlemen? 1 in the chat for Odablock, 2 in the chat for Laganarium. And again, the seeding will actually
definitely gonna have to be Oda.
It's going to be happening today. So Odablock obviously being one of the highest seeds.
This guy got too much on the line to lose.
Will be choiced by him. 2nd Laganarium, and a 3rd will come back to Odablock again. But my question is, Ian, how many people are actually going to be choosing? Are there any setups we're not going to see today? Do you reckon anyone's not going to choose?
Shit, if he doesn't win this, I don't think he can't be saying that he's the best PKer. He gotta win this shit.
Not too popular. I think we're going to see a ton of standard and H though.
I think Serenade is definitely the one that a lot of people are going to be going for. But also, I'd say equally, people like, you know, Odablock, Peter, these guys PK in like max dealer setups and max sets and the Wilderness all the time. So they probably have the most experience out of everyone in those setups, how to use the Vengeance Trinket to get that extra KO potential. So there's a few people that might opt for that. I was surprised to see a Pure fight actually in that first round. That's not something that I would have expected. Maybe the Zerg, like you just said, will be a less favourable one. But either way, we're going to have a lot of mixture of different setups, a lot of variety today, which is what we love to see as well.
Yeah, I think Mika was the one who chose the Pure setup because I do think he had the higher seeding than Torvesta, but Torvesta was someone that was choosing that back before in the qualifiers as well. But Torvesta, I think, does really well on Pure, and he showed it as well by taking Mika out as well on that one. So why Mika chose that one? Again, I'm not the one here that decides what they want to do. I'm sure he likes Deathman mode. I don't think they fought on Deathman mode, but I can see the gear setups on the screen. We're going to bring them to you in a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be joined for the second round debut fight. The Big O Odablock versus the Australian Laganarium. Laganarium playing on low ping. Odablock playing, well, from his hometown as of right now. And the gear setups, ladies and gentlemen, will be Deadman mode based on Odablock's choosing.
Yeah, he loves this setup. Goes for that barrage, catches the first freeze on Laganarium, goes for a beautiful javelin there as well, taking his time. You know, needs those hits off prayer. You know, Laganarium had that 1% extra damage on the stats, but Odablock doesn't want to let him get it on top of him. Laganarium trying to go for a Vengeance Voidwaker there, but Odablock knows he's frozen in place for a little bit longer, gets a bit of distance. Laganarium does catch that freeze. Now he is unfrozen. Will he use some special attacks early on? It looks like Odablock didn't decide to use his to start regaining special attack. We see a Voidwaker coming in from Lagunarium, the VLS as well, doing a little bit of damage to Oda. Oda actually going through a whole brew in that situation to heal back up to full HP. You don't want to get KO'd, and in these setups there's so much KO potential. Odablock does catch his opponent back again. Lagunarium now held in place. Odablock going for a VLS 27 through the prayer. Can he shift this momentum further in his favor? It's a 0 off prayer. Another javelin going in 24 through the prayer. Odablock really starting to heat up now. Laganarium needs to catch this freeze, but he's given up a couple of free hits in that situation. Odablock really just throwing those javelins so much, so many off-prayer hits as well. Laganarium does catch that freeze though. Now he has the DD advantage, an opportunity to get back into the battle. Look at the inventory. He's gone through maybe quite a bit more food actually, Odablock, and he has a lot of spec though, so you know, holding those VLS specs over him. Oh my god, a 41 javelin into a 33 javelin. Odablock, his range hits a 41 VLS as well. Another VLS. This is Odablock's POV currently, and he is going absolutely ham on lag.
Yep,
It's going ham.
Fantastically today, but all that damage output as well, holding the specs back, and he was using the javelins again. I think it's a situation. Laganarium is praying melee because he's afraid of the Vesta longsword spec, but the thing is, they have Voidwakers on this setup as well, and the end. You could just get hit, huge damage. Does drop.
What's going on with that?
Frozen in place, and this fight for the last 30 seconds has been Odablock right now. Laganarium really needs to try and get something in here to slow him down. He does have 30% spec, and a Vesta alongside special is definitely something that can bring you back into a fight, as long as Oda doesn't drop a Vengeance on it. But other than that, Staff Bash comes in from Laganarium. He does get the step underneath, so he can slow this fight down, but his supplies are dwindling.
Beautiful phase barrage there from Lagunarium though as well. Odablock still going very range heavy, a lot of hits off prayer. There's a 28 for Odablock. Lagunarium down to no supply, 72 hit points and a dream. He does have that VLS.
72 hit points and a dream.
Over Odablock's head. Oh, the VLS on Lagunarium actually from Oda as well. Lagunarium now cannot get that redemption proc. 10 hit points remaining. Oh, he does get a redemption proc. I'm lying. He does have a VLS almost coming up as well. Can he stand there a little bit longer? 26 hit points, 13 hit points. Odablock still has a bit of food remaining too though. One more barrage, one more javelin, one more swipe with the VLS. Could take down Lagunarium. He's somehow holding on. No, he's not. 49 javelin for Odablock. He takes the first win. 1-0 to Odablock versus Lagunarium voting.
Absolutely beautiful. I love the Deadman mode setup so much, especially in the hands of two players like Odablock and Laganarium. Laganarium, dubbed by Eviscape as the Australian demon as well, but of course Odablock will run around with that, and they know everything so well. Right now, Reese, similar to the first fight of Odablock fighting Doobies, the first pick for the Odablock Warriors is now Reese fighting Torvesta, the first pick on the Reese Rhinos. We're joined by 3 Rhinos here today. Mutz as well will be fighting off stream right now, but it looks like Reese, again with the higher seeding here, has chosen the the Noxious Halberds and the Voidwakers. And right now, looking at the Torvesta does look
time
down
the fight so we
and
can
Reese
see
has
actually
100%
all the fight.
special attack as well. That is not what you want at the end of the fight right now, but especially Torvesta as well, because he knows at any point Void Waker on the Prey melee. It's only a 29, but again, Reese had the power to send 2 back-to-back with the potential Noxious Halberd fake. We saw beautiful play from Laganarium in the qualifiers there, where he did actually delay and have the specs back-to-back.
Torvesta does catch that freeze though. He's still in this fight. No HP food healing left. 76 HP. He does just get a special attack though. Has that Void Waker. I'm sure Reese is also aware. Torvesta instead going for a Halley, but gets retaliated by a 30. Bolt goes for the Void Waker. Oh no, he's so low hit points. And there's the Void Waker finisher from Reese. He does take the first fight. 1-0 Reese versus Torvesta as well.
And that is a Rhino taking a Rhino right there. Bit of cannibalism, but that is that. My question as well, we did just see Odablock take Laganarium down, which means Oda will step up to 4 points right now. But that's Reese as well, taking Torvesta down, which means that he has also stepped up to 4 points. But right now, Doobies versus Peta is on the absolute wire. Doobies on 3 points, sorry, Peta on 3 points and Doobies on 0 after his 3-0 defeat. Doobies gets frozen in place. Peta with the thing is, we got a redemption. Can Doobies do anything? There's no special attack on either player right now. Peta's managed to get a few free hits in, but it isn't enough. Doobies splashes a freeze onto Peta. He cannot slow him down. A javelin potential on the roams. It's a 0-2 barrages on Prey range. It goes down. Blood barrage comes in. The Zoriel heals Peta even higher, and Doobies just cannot bring that back, unfortunately. And Peta as well steps up to 4 points, and Doobies is still sat on the 0.
Yeah, that was a really close one there. Honestly, we jumped into that fight. I was looking, I was like, wait, Doobies versus Peta. Doobies doing so well after he did get, you know, taken out quite a lot in that first round. But no, he brought it back right in that battle. He was looking really solid. I think Peta maybe had that freeze advantage and played it a little bit better. Now we're going back in with Odablock versus Lagunarium. Score currently 1 in favor of Odablock. We're now into the standard NH setup, a setup that both these guys are very familiar with, having done lots of NH tournaments over the years. We've just started though. Both players still have 100% special attack. Looks like they decided to freeze each other off the bat. That's an off-press spec from Odablock. Only a 26 into a staff swipe. Does get the Prey melee up though, so Lagunarium has to back off there and not send off his special. Lagunarium does catch the first freeze though in this encounter, and now trying to get the freeze back again. You see him wielding just the Mystic Top. Actually, quite positive odds on only using the Mystic Top when you're frozen in place. Same game tick. Lagunarium chucks in a claw spec, but it was a 0. Looks like Odablock did see it coming and did pray accordingly. Both players unfrozen now. Beautiful whipper there. Unexpected for Lagunarium, but Lagunarium instead catches the freeze. Another Staff Bash from Odablock. Unlucky, a big claw spec there. 36. Odablock playing really well defensively though, but you know, right now it looks like Lagunarium has started to warm up. Maybe the first fight was a bit worried, a bit scared about fighting the Big O himself, but now he's looking really solid in this encounter. Both players have one has special attack. Actually, Odablock does have special. He's going to hold that over Lagunarium's head. Lagunarium has to just Prey melee a lot in this situation. As you can see right now, Odablock taking his time, going for some off hits, and does actually get a few off Prey hits, but can't really do too much. Actually misses a free hit there as well. Another free hit. Lagunarium really starting to turn up in this situation. Has the free hit advantage again, and not another one. He does actually get back into the fight. Odablock back on full hit points. Doesn't want to get KO'd in this situation. Playing defensively very well though. 31 bolt there from Odablock. About to be unfrozen now as well. Will he go for that claw special? He's thinking about it. Here it comes, but Lagunarium sees it coming. It's a 0 on the Prey melee voting.
I was gonna say Odablock doing fantastic defending there, but Lagunarium,
so
that was
strong.
absolutely clinical from him there to control that. So many free hits coming out again with someone like Odablock, but jumping into the food right now, it doesn't look like Odablock really got crippled too bad. Even though that was all Lagunarium again, there wasn't too much damage coming out. A lot of splashes as well to try and even out the fight, but again, I wouldn't say that Lagunarium has a commanding lead in these inventories right now, and anything can happen again. Just a couple freezes and a bit of control. But this is the Lagunarium that I've been so excited to see. Odablock just had a comfortable matchup against Doobies from what we've seen, but now Lagunarium is probably going to be proven to be Odablock's first challenge of the day, and we know that there'll be more challenges to come, but this is absolutely beautiful gameplay from Lagunarium. I feel like he can't do this on the Australian ping, so he just wants to do it all right now. However, Odablock does get a fresh freeze on him, and now it's Odablock's turn.
Beautiful 29 bolt off prayer from Odablock, starting to heat up as well, getting comfy in this fight. Another off prayer hit. That's a free hit for Odablock onto Lagunarium. Lagunarium now unfrozen though. Odablock has special attack. Will he go for it on the run? No. For maybe a freeze instead. No, a bolt off Prey. It's a 30. Beautiful play there from Odablock as well. Prey melee, so Lagunarium doesn't go for the claw spike. Both players have claw spike. Odablock trying to go for it, but Lagunarium sidesteps out after catching the freeze. Odablock does catch him, stop in his place, not give up any free hits right now. Looking at the inventories as well. Looks like Odablock has a slight lead, but that is a nice 30 bolt from Oda onto Lagunarium. Here's Lagunarium's POV. A claw spec off prayer for Oda. It's a 0 though. Unlucky for him. Beautiful Prey as well now from Mr. Lagunarium. Goes for the freeze, does catch it. Now he has that freeze advantage. Goes for a bolt off prayer as well. It's a 4. Odablock does retaliate though. He has spec. He wants to utilize it, but he has to make sure it's off prayer to try and get back into this battle. Odablock's POV now as well. No special attack. Is frozen in place. Gives up 1 free hit. Does get claw spec off prayer, but it's only a 38 from Lagunarium. Now Odablock going for a whipper, hitting a 22 off prayer as well. Going for a beautiful ball off prayer, 34. So many hits off prayer for Oda. That's another barrage off prayer too, but it's a 0. He has an opportunity here to really turn it up. It looks like Lagunarium has 2 food remaining, both players unfrozen, and this next freeze is going to be pivotal for the end of this fight. It looks like Lagunarium does catch that freeze, try and get back into this one, Boating.
This is potentially Lagunarium's last chance right now. He might not know that he's down. He might just think that Odablock's completely out, especially with that little redemption that Odablock may have thrown up by accident there. Lagunarium may see that and be like, oh, he's out of food. He's not. There's 3 hard foods still in the inventory for Odablock. There is still a dose of brew that'll take away his boosted potions, but Lagunarium does have a bit of an upwards battle right now to take this out, but this fight has been an absolutely incredible performance of PvP from both. It's been going back and forth, and if I had to say who I thought was winning this, I'd say Lagunarium, but he's not. Odablock,
but he's not.
But it's so close. It's 121 hit points onto Oda, 109 on Lagunarium, and Oda does catch the freeze right at the end of this fight. A 38 ball retaliation though, potentially a whip from Lagunarium though onto the O, and again 65 hit points for Lagunarium. There will be no claw spec to save him. A huge 38 bolt from the O. It's a mage prayer, it's a barrage on the prey mage. It doesn't quite kill Lagunarium. He's going to unfreeze him out, and he falls to the barrage. That fight felt like it was all Lagunarium. But the Big O, resilience in the moment, plays the defensive, stays calm as we know he can do, manages to turn that beautifully around and take Lagunarium out. And there is Reese once again taking out another Rhinoceros there. Tormenta falls to the ground, 2-0 for Reese there, 2-0 for Odablock as well.
Yeah, it looks like Reese won that one quite comfortably with a few food left as well. We're now jumping into Solo versus Lake, and looks like Solo and Lake are pretty even on HP actually. Not too much in it, but Solo Mission does have that 70% special attack. He catches a fresh freeze onto Lake right now. If he can close this distance, he can hold that DDS over his head. Now, we've not seen any volatile specs in this fight thus far. And also, interestingly, Solo Mission's inventory is not utilizing the extra switch, the Occult Necklace. Only 4% magic damage, so maybe just decides it's not worth the extra click. Looks like a beautiful bolt there off prayer from Lake. He's frozen in place though. Solo Mission can't quite close the distance. Gets frozen back from Lake as well. Still has that 80% special attack.
Oh, Solo 1-1.
These guys
He
are
1-1 fight so far
right now. Just range and mage hybriding, trying to catch each other off prayer. Of course, trying to extend that lead. Looks like inventory-wise, Solo has 6 food remaining, whereas Lake only has a couple extra. Here comes the DDS special. It's a 29. Beautiful from Lake. Solo Mission tries to retaliate. Gets here 30 off prayer. Beautiful movement there from Lake. Oh my God, 32 though as I say that from Solo Mission. Great freeze and retaliation of taking quite a bit of damage. Solo taking his time, going for a DDSer. Might double it up. He does. It's a 15, but Lake does see it coming. Keeps that prey melee on. Solo Mission now opting for some barrages instead. The blood barrage is trying to stay alive, heal back a little bit hit points. Lovely DDS there from both players, both keeping up the prey melee defensively as well. Lake now catching that freeze, healing back up, looking at the inventory. There's not too much in it. A 2 food advantage for Lake, but Solo Mission does have that DDS. Can he make it count, Bodhi?
Solo Mission does catch a fresh freeze onto Lake. Can Lake retaliate and get Solo stuck in place? Or will Solo have the full DD control? He unfortunately cannot now. Lake luckily does have some food left that he can re-heal here, but Solo Mission does now take the lead back in the fight. He does catch a freeze onto Lake, does catch a freeze onto Solo Mission though, and Lake will unfreeze momentarily. Now that gives him almost a full freeze right now. Both players are 16 HP to 18. This can go down to anyone, and unfortunately, Solo Mission misses the redemption as far as I'm aware there. Lake with the bolt execution, and that is Lake taking Solo Mission out 2-1 on the board there.
That was a really close fight. Is Ian Newton? My God, yeah, Lake did a fantastic job at the end there of catching that bolt off press. Solo Mission though, holding those DDS specs over his head, did incredible as well. What a close battle. We're jumping back in with Odablock versus Lagunarium, 2-0 in Odablock's favor, and now we are back in a max setup. As I mentioned before, Odablock is so comfy in this crazy risk in the deep walls and has so much experience in utilizing it. And that's a 46 ball off prayer there from Odablock. The ZCB going in right now. He has the Halley, and now both players are unfrozen. They also have Void Waker specials, and he goes for one, and he also goes for one. A 38 Odablock coming out on top. Both players actually, having the Prey Mage up them. You can't just have to Prey Mage when players are unfrozen with the Void Waker special. Now they'll start getting back some special attack as well. Getting that spec off early on is very important. Both players now unfrozen. Never mind, Odablock does catch the freeze. Goes for a sidestep. A Halley is off prayer. It's an 11. Steps underneath again. Goes for another Halley. Decides to not. Really great play there to actually get a bolt off prayer as well from Odablock. Lagunarium going to be unfrozen in the next few game ticks. But they're going to go for a fresh freeze. He does, and he does catch it. Now, the ball's in his court. 39 Void Waker there for Lagunarium. Beautifully played to get back into this fight. Odablock still has special attack though, which means he can utilize it, hold it over his head if he can catch the freezes and get that DD advantage. Lagunarium now about to be frozen in place by Odablock, I'm sure, as Odablock gets unfrozen here. Has that Void Waker special as well. Utilizes it off prayers. A 34. Unfortunate for the big O. Lagunarium gets a fresh freeze again. Still control the pace of the fight. But look at the inventory. Looks like Odablock being up just a few anglerfish of damage worth, Bosun.
That is true. Right now, again, Odablock is undefeated today with 2-0 against Lagunarium. Lagunarium really needs to take this from him, but we also know that Reese is undefeated as well. So if Lagunarium can get one off the board here, Reese might actually step to the top of the seeding. We don't know where Peta stands as well, and we also are not sure where, I'm not sure who the other person was. It might have been Lake, actually. He was 3, but I know it was Lagunarium. They're fighting right now, so Lagunarium has lost his undefeated streak. But again, if we look at the food right now, Oda looks like he has a commanding lead, but these gear setups, again, if you miss a couple of prayers on the Noxious Halberd, it is everything that can reset your inventory back to 0 and bring people back into the fight. Lagunarium catches the freeze onto Oda. He retaliates with the Noxious Halberd. It's off prayer. It's a 0. And now Lagunarium is going to have to get a lot of damage out before Oda potentially grabs another freeze on him.
Yeah, beautiful play there from Odablock, utilizing the Raxon, but it looks like Lagunarium doing the exact same thing. Oda, though, looking so good defensively, despite having no DD advantage. He's still hitting back every hit and actually getting a lot of hits off prayer as well. As a 34 barrage there for Odablock. Inventory looking really healthy in comparison. Going for another barrage off prayer. It's a splash, unfortunately, for him. Lagunarium needs to get some damage to connect right now. Getting a little bit unlucky with some of these hits as well. Saying that, almost special attack regenerating for Odablock. He's going to have that for the set before the end of this fight, potentially the guaranteed damage. Beautiful fakies there. Beautiful ball as well. Another one-tick barrage back and forth. Right now, he is frozen in place. But 42 balls to close it out. Odablock doesn't need the Void Waker special attack. He wins the fight. Is that a 3-0?
That is another 3-0, and Odablock continues his undefeated streak, removing Lagunarium's 3-0 undefeated streak, and now putting Lagunarium at a 3-3 right there. Now, we are in Peta versus Doobies. We saw Peta take Doobies out in the beginning, and right now it looks like he's also defeated Doobies back-to-back. They're now competing in the Zerka setup for the first time today to decide if Doobies can take one of Peta's undefeated streaks, or will Odablock step to the 6-0? Will Peta also step to the 6-0? And my question as well, did Reese take out Torvesta again to also increase his lead to 6-0?
We'll have to jump back into that momentarily, but looking at this right now, Doobie's looking so strong at the moment, having that freeze advantage, getting a big 30 barrage off prayer, retaliating with Bolt as well. Now Peta does have the freeze advantage, being unfrozen, 70% special attack as well for Peta. He's keeping that AGS in the chamber to utilize it, hold it over Doobie's head, so he has to force to be able to pray melee. Doobie's now about to be unfrozen after catching that freeze. The last fight we saw between these two guys, it came down to the wire. They both had no food remaining. Doobie's looking really good out here today, but Peta coming out slightly on top. A lot of nice bolts there from Doobs, though. He gets that 27 bolt. Now he's unfrozen, but getting caught once again from Peter. Peter now stepping underneath. Nice ball once again from him. Going to go for potentially some whippers, try and get some free hits, being a faster attack style. Unable to do so. Doobie's to stop him in his tracks. A beautiful 41 bolt proc there from Doobie's off prayer as well. Looking at the inventories right now, Peta maybe down a little bit of damage. Doobie's looking really good out here today. Wants to get 1 point back from Peter. 80% special attack for Peter, though. That AGS could change everything, Adam.
That's true. We haven't seen an AGS spec today, and we should see one shortly. We see one right now. Unfortunately, doesn't really change anything in the fight. Short damage there, falling shy with just a 0 that comes out on that one. But again, Doobies, his warm-up fights were against the Big O. The Big O know he's undefeated. He's now got his second warm-up fights against Peta, who's also undefeated. And this last 20 seconds has been everything Peta at the AGS at the beginning of 0. Into the onslaught, though, to bring the damage back. And here we go. Doobie's taking 150 damage in the last few hits alone. And Peta, he has brought his food now to a definite lead against Doobie's. And again, everything is going in the favor of Peta. It looks like he really wants to maintain this undefeated streak at the top. He is there just working out what to do. Everything off prayer right now. And Doobie's just trying his best to survive. Splashes the freeze. Does Peta catch? He also splashes. Doobie's just get the refreeze back onto Peta, though.
Never mind. Can he step underneath? He can. He only has 65 hit points to work with. Goes for an AGS. Peter does see it coming. Praise melee accordingly. Doobie's the freeze advantage. Never mind. Gets caught in place. Peter, every single hit right now has been off prayer. He's so calculated with this damage. He's figured out Doobie's prayer pattern. A 0 on the robes. Off prayer there as well. Peter now healing out full HP. Not giving an inch towards Doobie's to get back into this fight. He has about 100 HP lead almost. Peter stepping out. Another barrage off prayer. Is frozen in place though. Doobie's not giving up yet. Goes for a whip, gets bolted back off prayer though, gets a free hit as a result of using that whip. Doobie stepping out, stepping back in again, gets caught in place. This could be it. The next hit for Peter could decide this one. Oh, a redemption from Doobie's. He's staying alive. 77 HP to come back from though. Can he close this one out? Will Peter finish him off? Another redemption from Doobie's. Absolutely insane play from him. He does catch the freeze as well. Doobie's not giving up, but now he gets caught by that final freeze. Peter takes it 3-0. But what a fantastic performance there from Doobie's, not giving up right up until the end of the fight.
There is one thing we know about Doobie's, and that is he never gives up, no matter how bad the situation may be. And he was so close there. Unfortunately, I saw him drink the last Sanfu dose. I was like, he doesn't have any more redemptions in the tank. If he had a few more there, could have been different. But again, Peta did get the KO through the Predator, so there wouldn't have been another redemption, even if he actually has it. And Peta manages to take Doobie's down. Doobie's standing as our only player without a single victory on the board, which could be expected due to his competition. But Odablock and Peta extending their undefeated win streaks there at 6 each. And Reese looks like he dropped one to Torvesta.
Yes, it looks like he did. Torvesta now having that 3 points, being safe. And right now, Sync and Solo Mission, slightly underneath the one score on either of them. Group A and Group B now changing up once again. We've got Reese versus Lake to come up. Torvesta versus Sync. Solo Mission versus Mika. And we've got in Group B, a fan favorite matchup, I'm sure. Odablock versus Peter. Friends become enemies in this tournament. We've also got Lagunarium versus Vanks. Doobie Dobies versus Mutt to follow as well.
Yes, I'm very excited to watch this one. We're going to be jumping into Doobie versus Mutz, by the way, so that's going to be good. I'm only joking, of course. We're watching Odablock versus Peta. They are both undefeated right now in this, and this is where one of them loses their undefeated streak in this next fight, unless they somehow double death. But look at that, best Max and H onto Peta. Worst setup is Max and H.
This is it for Odablock. You better win this shit.
Looks like he's doing too strong on the deathband mode setup.
Yeah, quite interestingly, actually. He's obviously played DMMs for so many years now. He's one of those.
Can I get a cold brew whenever possible?
Around with crazy amount of risk and is so confident in it as well. He had his big debut streaming at the last demo mode where he was PKing in that setup. See him in the worst setup.
No, just close the door because it catches audio.
Odablock versus Peter. These guys are going to be, it's going to be such a close battle. These guys have been sessioning for months and months and months, practicing. They are very good friends, as I mentioned before, but there is $10,000 on the line. And it's not just that for these guys, it's also the flex, the PvP ego, They're sat next to each other right now, but they both are in it to win it. I spoke to them last night, and they both said that's going to, they consider each other to be their hardest opponents in the competition. So what a treat for us today to see them fight so early on. And regardless, I think based on the seeding so far, based on how many points they've accrued, they're looking pretty safe for going through this round. So you might see them fight again later on. This will give us a taste of what's to come.
I mean, the last time we saw these two fight in a 1v1, apart from the tiny little skirmish at the bottom of Castle Wars yesterday, was the grand final of qualifier #1, and both of these players were off ping at the same time. Today, we are going to see the debut of Odablock versus Peta, our Q1 #1 seed and #2 seed fighting on their ping, and this is going to be a display of PvP to the highest level. Again, like you said, I'd say it's the first time they've been meeting since the grand final, but they've been practicing together all day. That's why they're so warmed up. That's why they are undefeated. And again, if they consider themselves their hardest opponent, warming up on your hardest opponent might be making every other fight that you're going against just easy on the paper. But other than that, we are going to be jumping straight in.
Dun dun dun.
Versus
the two titans.
Undefeated today in the Deadman mode setups.
We love to see this one. They're not, you know, they both use the set.
Two Titans clash.
High risk PKs with the highest caliber. That Vengeance trinket can give them lots more KO potential as well. Both players opting for a freeze off the bat, being frozen away from each other. The second they're unfrozen though, those Void Wakers, those VLSs, so accurate. Odablock stepping back a little bit there. Peter going for the freeze. The VLS from afar from Odablock. It's a 34 through the prayer. Peter then catches that freeze, has the DD advantage. Great positioning from Peter at the start of this matchup. And now, though, he needs to use special attack himself as well. He goes for a Vengeance, but doesn't decide to use the VLS actually. He needs to get that off earlier so that he's able to start getting back some special attack. Right now, Odablock is regenerating. Odablock about to be unfrozen though. Neither player opting for that many specials at the start of the fight. They want to utilize maybe the Vengeance as well to get some KO potential here too. Peter now actually getting that freeze. He's going to want to send a special any second now. Odablock preemptively praying mage. He knows it's coming. The Alessa does pray accordingly though. 20 through the prayer for Peter. Peter has the freeze advantage, zipping back and forth, getting a blood barrage there off prayer as well. Only an 11 for him though. Odablock right now about to be unfrozen. Has special attack as well. Peter trying to anti it. The Vengeance for the Vengeance right there as well. Next hit has to be careful not to KO themselves with an anti-stack. It looks like they both actually tickle each other with a very small hit of damage. A Void Waker off prayer there for Odablock. It's a 61 on Peter. Huge for him. He's also got 45% special attack. Another Void Waker though coming back from Peter. It's a 42 off prayer as well. Now both players about to be unfrozen. Peter trying to go for distance, but Odablock does catch it. Can he close the distance though, or will he be unfrozen before he manages to get underneath? And he has a DD advantage now with special attack too. This is a great position for Odablock voting.
And again, one thing about these two players that might not be well known is, well, of course, everyone knows about Oda. He's a great bench PK, but so is Peda. And I'm so happy again that Odablock chose the Deadman mode setup right there. There's a tracker on the screen, you know. Peda is currently losing on tracker. Reese would never be happy to see this on right now on the screen. But losing on tracker at the short term doesn't mean it's actually all over right now. Anything can happen between these players right now. But this is the Peda POV right now. All of his food is basically gone though. As far as I'm aware, Odablock has a lot more health in that chamber. As we can see it right there, he may lose a super combat boost later, but he probably won't need it on a setup like this with the DPS that could come up with 65% spec on Odablock as well. If he holds that for 10% more, he can Void Waker into a VLS back to back, and if Peda gets those priors wrong, he can be deleted immediately. Oh my god!
Did Odablock get killed? Yo, come on! This guy Oda, he's giving his title away. He's giving his title away, dog. Whoa.
Moment, you would never believe it.
Peda snapped on him.
From Peda,
whoa.
He gets the damage as well and takes down the Big O. And Peda is our only undefeated player today.
We're jumping right in now with Solo and Mika as well.
Now Peda taking his title, son. What's Oda gonna do? You better come back.
He gets KO'd by the barrage. Solo Mission losing his first matchup against Mika.
Now Oda shook. He's like, wait a second, this can't be happening.
Oh my god.
He better snap back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity.
Of momentum after catching that freeze, and he played so well. He was actually down like 100 damage, I believe, in that situation. So if he hadn't KO'd Odablock then, maybe he would have lost the fight.
He snapped on him.
Great play there from Peter. I'm sure Odablock is absolutely smashing the desk right now and desperate to take revenge back in the next battle.
Again, though, it was Odablock that did select that Deadman mode setup, so that's Peter taking him out on the own thing they wanted to do. But again, I think both players do know that setup very well. Although, again, we did see the stats of Peter, and it did show that it was his weakest setup. But other than that, Peter has chosen the next setup, which is standard NH. He is known as one of the best NH stakers in this game. Will he be able to defend that title right now, fighting Odablock, who is simply known as one of the best PKers in the entire game? Right now, it looks like, again, they're both unfrozen, and they're going to go for a free set in a moment. They're both 100% spec. We will see Claws come out from Oda. It's on Prey melee there, but the tank was on, and Odablock also manages to grab the freeze that Peda splashed.
Yeah, beautiful freeze there from Odablock, and we see him now. I think Toxic Terry is coming out. The Raxon as well. He lost that first fight, and he's not going to go down. Another one. 22 ball proc there from Odablock as well. 18 ball through the prayer to Peter, trying to catch that freeze. Able to do so. Unfrozen, goes for the claw spec. Odablock saw it coming. It's a 32 through the prayer, though. Peter can't be unhappy with that one. Getting a ball proc back on him, though. And now Peter having that advantage, going for those free hits with the whip attack speed. Stepping away, stepping back in again, zigzagging. But Peter is now frozen in place. Odablock needed that freeze to slow down momentum of the fight. Both players do also have that 50% special attack energy. 30 barrage there for Odablock as well, though, into a 35 barrage as well, into a bolt of prayer, but it's a 0. Peter does beautifully eat back up to full HP with the combo of the brew. A 19 bolt free hit from Odablock into a whipper. Caught in place, though. Peter now has that DD advantage, goes for a barrage off prayer. It's an 18. He has that special attack, causing Odablock to have to pray melee the entire time. A few hits off prayer there for him. A free hit, but a 36 retaliation from Odablock. Beautiful bolt there, despite not having that DD advantage. Now, any second now, Odablock will be unfrozen. We see a claw spec coming in from Peter, his final spec, until later on it regenerates. It was a 40, and Odablock tries to go for retaliation, but it is a claw scratch. Now, both players unfrozen. Never mind, Odablock gets caught by a 20 through the prayer. Now, Peter has that DD advantage. Again, looking at the inventories, though, it looks to be very close. Odablock has that D-claw, which could, turn this fight into his favor.
Absolutely beautiful potion management there for Peter. Goes through all of his brews, but he's still boosted up right now in the fight. There is a brew on Odablock still, which does give him the ability to double heat out of any damage. But again, I've just noticed that Odablock's still 80% claw spec right now. He could dump one of those whenever he wants. And again, he's frozen right now. And Petter has Prey melee up just in case he closes the distance with the claws. He gets the step under right there. Does Odablock get the refreeze? It is a splash. The damage is traded there, but it's both zeros on each side. Again, will Odablock be able to dump a claw spec? Because if you want to dump a claw spec right now, you really want to get it off the claws, which he does beautifully with the damage. Unfortunately, no momentum comes in there with the ice barrage, but this is the big O. We've got his POV. The damage is there. Unfortunately, the bolt zero there takes the momentum away. Again, back-to-back, both off Predator, potentially on the Rose. But that damage output alone right there, I know everything was O there. And what's going to happen is when we jump back into anything, we're going to see that Petter's inventory is going to be looking pretty damn shy right now, whereas Odablock's inventory is looking absolutely solid, but it's definitely not over for Petter right now. He's more than capable of bringing a win here.
Another claw spec, but it's a 0 off prayer for Odablock. Unfortunately for him, could have maybe been a KO. Yeah, that 50 claw spec he got a second ago turned into so much momentum, so many 30s, and now it's his to take. And Peter caught in place. A fresh freeze, though, on Odablock. Peter will be unfrozen soon. Maybe go for a claw spec in retaliation. He needs to connect it off prayer to be able to get back into this fight. Look at the inventories. At the moment, Odablock seems to be out quite a bit of damage. Going for some bolts, just exchanging the range for the mage, trying to hit off prayer as best as possible. 5 anglerfish remain. Peter seems to be pretty much out of food, but he does have that claw spec. Will he utilize it? He's unable to do so. Odablock keeping that distance, getting that fresh freeze as well. It's his to take. Gets a free hit as well from the Blood Barrage. Steps away. The Raxon hits, unfortunately, a bit of a staff bash, but doesn't matter. He has a big advantage. Peter right there, you saw the claws from him. He needs to utilize it. He does get a freeze on Oda. Oda now going to have to pray melee a lot against Peter. Peter out of food, 44 hit points. Can he get a KO again? I'm not too sure if Odablock's going to let it happen. Gets a 33 bolt, though, into a barrage off Brett. It's a 19. Peter doing so well right now to try and stay in this fight. Odablock just needs to catch that freeze, pray melee as best he can to not get clawed, and the claw goes out for Peter. It's a 38 through the prayer. Odablock only has 2 food remaining. Peter's brought this fight back in his favor. Right now, Odablock, 50 HP, 2 anglers advantage. Beautiful freeze there from Peter, though. Can Odablock stop him in his tracks? He can. A 28 barrage right there, stopping Peter. Peter now opting to go for the redemption flicks. Can he pull it off to stay in this fight, Boaty?
He's just got one right in this moment, but Odablock still has 1 hard food left. Petter, he's completely out. He has 3 doses of something to his name, though. A big 32 bolt. Odablock might have to eat food here. That's going to lose some time. That might get the freeze over to Petter for free. He casts it. He does catch the freeze. He might get the DD right here. Can he potentially take Odablock out? We're jumping into Oda's POV for the end. Petter gets the redemption.
Yo! Damn!
Extending.
Yo! Oh!
And Odablock taking 2.
Petter playing hard right now, son.
Against Petter.
Damn!
Came in. He traded around.
We snapped on Oda. Oda who? Everybody saying Oda who right now? That's crazy. Oda, son.
Best in the game. Unbelievable performance from him, being down 100 damage and bringing it all the way back again. We just see here Doobie's going down 2 butts. Mutz extending his lead. 2-0 victory versus Doobie Dobies. Not too much damage in it in that battle.
Oh, and I just killed myself.
Right there,
oh my gosh.
One of the best, if not the best NHs in the game. What a turnaround. That redemption keeping him alive. The claw spec, just the amount of a
that's crazy. Oda said.
Of that claw and the redemption. Oh my god, the
2 old. Yeah, you got 2 old, son.
That was neck and neck. It was so good. That is the definition of neck and neck. That was incredible. Yeah, great to see those guys fight. And we've got one more fight from them coming up shortly too.
That's true, and Odablock really needs to get this one just to remove Peta from being undefeated right now. Again, if Oda's Peta's hardest fighting 3-0s him, takes someone out, he might be moving undefeated throughout the whole thing. The only player that can say so, and no one else can say different, but it shows you the power of catching an Ice Barrage at the right time. And I was going to ask, what setup do you think that Odablock, the highest seed, was going to choose? But it looks like he's gone for the max NH setup. We're going to be seeing some Noxious Halberds, some Void Wakers again, and the Zarite Crossbow, but this is it. Odablock versus Peta in round 3 right now of the Crusader Classic 2026, playing for $10,000 in Raleigh, North Carolina right now. It is 2 to Peta, undefeated. Odablock trying his best with his only defeats to Peta right now, and look at the movement from Peta. Oda just cannot catch the freeze until then, but Oda's freeze is going to drop off, and he's going to have a nice one onto Peta, and he can return the favor.
Yeah, beautiful 55 Halberd off prep for Odablock into the Void Waker as well as a 32, getting a bit more damage in it. Both players are going to be regaining special attack. We might see another one at the end of the fight. Both players having that spec, having to pray mage the whole time, and taking their time about it as well, trying to hit that Void Waker off prayer. Beautiful movement here from Peter and from Odablock too. Both zigzagging, making it really difficult for them to catch each other. Going for the Helm takeoff there, seeing his bold head. Mr. Odablock goes for the freeze, unable to catch it. Peter has that DD advantage, stepping in and out. And Peter right now looking very strong, gets a free hit as well. Odablock though still in it. He does catch a beautiful 30 freeze into a bolt off prayer as well. Odablock unfrozen, stepping underneath. He saw that 50 Halley earlier, wants to get another one, I'm sure. Beautiful barrage there off prayer as well as a 36. The momentum right now for Odablock stopped in its track though. A slight misclick there with the hit. 29 bolt though. Odablock still doing really well to stay in this fight.
Shit, Peta just been outplaying him. He outplayed him 2 times, then.
He's going to want to catch his freeze.
He get outplayed Oda 2 times.
Does have in the chamber now.
Yeah.
In his tracks, he does now also have a Void Waker special to be utilized. He might be going for it momentarily. He's stepping underneath, thinking
Peter might know every move in his head, son.
When he saw Peter going for it, lovely ball as well. 20 exchange for another 20 though. This fight is very close. A 16 only. Very unfortunate. But another 25. Both players actually catching the Prey Mage up. They are such high tier players, so of course they're going to get that Prey Mage right now. Using this the second half of the fight. Maybe getting a special attack before the fight is over though, Boti. At 30% special attack now, we should see another Void Waker coming in. Inventory wise, Odablock maybe up a little bit of damage.
I'm going to have to say it, Ian. Odablock has burgered the ranging potion.
Oh, no.
And with the Zarite Crossbows again, the Noxious Halberd here and the Ice Barrage, he's so strong that he can definitely do it. But is that bolt potentially the lock of the bolt's going to affect it? Odablock utilizes crossbows so well when other people are praying wrong. 29 knocks Halley through the prayer, I think, there on Peta. But right now, 4 hard food on Peta, probably about to change him to 2 as he eats it, or maybe even 1 if he decides to go for the overheal right now. But Odablock, 121 hit points, 3 hard food, 5 doses of brew. A lot of times people burger their potions, but a lot of the time it does not matter. A 27 bolt comes in from Oda. He might be boosted up right now. 34 bolt again. Peta's health goes so low. The splash though comes in from Oda. Peta just catches the refreeze and Oda splashes again, which gives Peta the ability to slow this fight down, or he needs to get all the momentum that he can. As soon as he eats that next anglerfish, he goes to 63 hit points, regenerates to 64 at the same time there, and that's all he's got for the remainder of this fight. We jumped into Odablock POV again.
He does have a special attack though, and now he has frozen Peter in place, closing the distance. Got to be careful to get KO'd though. Oh my god, here it comes. The guaranteed damage, the guaranteed KO. Odablock takes 1 back. Peter no longer undefeated, still wins the exchange 2-1. But Odablock must be really happy about that one. Taking Peter down, he knows he can go the distance. He knows it can happen again now. He needed that for his confidence. Of course, this is the preliminary round. These guys most likely going to secure their spot, not be one of the 4 that goes out in a minute. But yeah, still, what a great fight to watch. Now we're jumping back here with Doobie Dobies versus Mutz. Doobie's once again out of supplies, down to only 21 hit points. Mutz seems to have this one in the bag. Doobie's no special attack and a dream, unfortunately, that cannot be fulfilled. Mutz takes that one. It's a 3-0 victory there for Mutz versus Doobie's as well.
Yep, Doobie's unfortunately, even though Peta did just lose his undefeated streak to Odablock there, that gives him 1 defeat on the board. Doobie's unfortunately is on a permanent loss streak right now. He's on 9 defeats in a row. 0 victories, and it's going to be incredibly hard for Doobies to manage to qualify himself into the top 8 now and get the prize pool. He did jump in on our 4th qualifying seed. He did shoot for the gold on the 1 chance to qualify. He's managed to do it, but it's going to be a big ask right now for him to pull himself into the top bracket right now, especially when Peta and Oda are at the top. There might only be 2 argued places left. It could be Laganarium. Will Doobies be able to overtake him and jump into the top 4?
He needs to be winning every single fight that he has coming up to still have an opportunity to be able to, stay in the competition. But Doobies, the man never gives up, Unfortunately, it's just a bit too big of a hill to climb sometimes in a situation. We jump into the end of this fight. He seems to be down quite a bit of food. But against Peter, for example, we saw it being down to like 20 HP difference. And Peter, regarded as, right now, he's got the most amount of wins the entire tournament, even above Oda Block as well. So Doobies can do that to Peter. He can surely, pull it out the bag in the fights going forward. Just got to stay confident. And at the end of those fights, just not give up. And that man doesn't do that. He always plays to the bitter end, goes for those redemption flakes, and does his best to stay in the battle.
Doobies was a player yesterday we saw pull off an incredible 1 versus 2 in the multi because he does not give up. If there's anyone that has a 0-9 score that can end it at a 6-9 score at the end, it's going to be Doobies. And I hope he does. It's always the champion story that we want to actually see there. Nobody wants to see someone go 0-15. Please, I'm unbiased, Doobies. Don't go 0-15. I beg you.
0.
For you. Donate is rooting for you. Come on. He could definitely do it. But other than that, let's jump back. Oda Block versus Peta. What a they were the fights that I was so excited to watch them. And that is what those guys can do. The movement from both of them going back and forth as well. Like, they weren't even in control at one point. They would switch back. But this is our seeding. And right now, we have a tied ranked 1 over Reese and Peta, but they're in opposite groups right now. Oda Block in 2nd, Laganarium's in 3rd, Torvesta and Mika are tied in 4th, and then below we have Lake and Mutz. But it doesn't matter where they group right now. The only thing that matters is who can score the top 4.
As long as you're in the top 3, you're good.
Round 4 coming up.
I think the top 3 get paid.
Lake versus Mika, Torvesta versus Solar Mission in Group A. And then in Group B, we're going to see Oda Block fighting Vancouver, Peter versus Mutz, Lagunarium versus Doobie. Some great battles still to come, of course. In this first round, we're going to have this round-robin style tournament, and that means that, everyone's fighting each other, so we're going to see all of the matches. All these guys are live right now as well, so if you want to root for any of them, make sure you check out their channels over on Kick as well. But that being said, I'm looking so forward in a minute to watch out some more of these battles. Obviously, Oda Block right there, as you said, against Peter, those guys, some of the best in the game. Seeing, like, the Raxon, as they like to call it, the zipping in and out, trying to, avoid damage.
Who will win, Torvesta or Solo Mission? Definitely Torvesta. I don't know, Solo Mission's been
versus Solo Mission.
messed up.
Who do you guys have your money on in this round? 1 in the chat for Torvesta, 2 in the chat for Solo Mission. Torvesta, I believe, has more points than Solo Mission currently. Solo Mission in the firing line, actually, slightly below, looks to be one of the bottom 2 players, so he needs to get some wins in the bag. There's not much in it. He's only like 1 or 2 points behind that safety net to get through to the next round. So yeah, Solo Mission though, fighting Torvesta, these guys, great friends, having played in Deadman modes and over the years many times. It's going to be a difficult one for him.
Absolutely, but an even more difficult one is Doobies. Unfortunately, it's just defeated by him, and he's up against Laganarium when he needs to get 3-0 to even have a chance to qualify in that. But Solo Mission versus Torvesta, I think it's going to be a bit of a banger. Obviously, great friends, both from the UK right now. We do have Solo Mission zoomed in. He's having a good time.
Can't get hit at all.
Again, Solo Mission, the number 4 seed in the qualifiers against Torvesta, who was the number 10 seed in the qualifiers. Both of them qualifying off pick, but it's now time to see them head-to-head. Gear setup-wise, what do you reckon is going to happen?
Interesting, actually. So Torvesta, as we always talk about, being one of those DMM players that loves the DMM setups. We saw him pull out what I think was the pure setup, which I didn't really expect. Solo Mission also playing in a pure fight too. I'd say Solo Mission probably would prefer maybe the standard NH setups that he's practiced for so many years on in LMS, on his pure Iron Men and all his different Iron Men accounts over the many years as well. But having that, he's really good at keeping the tank armor on. I was speaking to Torvesta before about that. He's maybe not as confident as always getting his robes off and getting in the tank gear. He sometimes wants to go for his barrages. Going for those off-prayer hits is what he does. But Solo Mission, he's been trained by people like Reese in Blazers. He's got more of an analytical approach to things, whereas Torvesta's been more of a deep wilderness and PvP style KO PKer. So they both have their strengths and their weaknesses. How this one's going to play out? Well, it looks like the chat right now is saying Torvesta has a slight advantage. 2/3 of you guys are voting for him. What do you think, Adam?
Again, I feel like both of these players do have different style. Like you say, I do think Solar Mission takes those NH stake rules and how to do all that, whereas Torvesta kind of plays the opponent in a way. There's a lot of tick delaying that Torvesta does, a lot of stepping out, waiting, and just getting those bolts on robes, those bolts on prayer. Again, whenever you're doing NH staking, it's all about not missing any ticks, not missing any hits and anything like that. And I feel Torvesta doesn't play those rules fully correct. He just kind of does his own thing, but it works so well. It does. You will notice that Torvesta, his bolts are always so strong in almost every fight he does because he's catching them off prayer so commonly.
Yeah, absolutely. No, Torvesta is one of those guys that just like kind of learns and played through just experience. You know, he's been PKing for 10+ years now. Not to say that Solar Mission hasn't, but Torvesta probably has many more hours in the PvP worlds, in the deep wilderness, in situations where you're fighting so many different people in completely different sets as well. So he probably has an advantage going into this tournament, having experienced all those different combat levels, all those different gear setups too. But yeah, Solar Mission, very meticulous in the way that he plays, doing everything on paper, doing things as you should, not getting caught in the robes. In every situation, what is best to do? Should I bolt? Should I barrage? What's going to be on paper the most amount of positive EV in this situation? So Solar Mission, I think, in something like a standard NH gear setup might have a slight advantage, but in the high-hitting KO potential setups, I think Torvesta could potentially even go for a KO. Maybe
would be a good PK
coming in today, which means more GP for you guys at home as well.
We did see a KO earlier today, and it was none of the better KOing the big O. But again, if we jump up there, we can actually see the gear setup selected, which was selected by Torvesta as Solar Mission was the bottom seed, and they've opted in for the Berserker setup, which again, it jumps back to what you were saying. The lower the defense, the tick delays hitting off prayer, it punishes a lot more, and I think that's what Torvesta is playing for today. I also want to say that Torvesta chose Pure against Mika. It might have been vice versa. So maybe that's what Torvesta is playing for, just the lower defense and hoping maybe the bolts can carry him. Yeah, again, I think it's one of those situations where a lot of these guys, you know, they've played on mains, they've played in dead man modes, and they played the PvP arena. That's what they're used to. Not many people have like played Pures or played Zerkers, and Torvesta's made videos on those kinds of accounts for so many years now. So he's used to taking the damage, used to combo eating and risk fights in PvP worlds, not getting KO'd. Well, kinda, he's been KO'd a couple of times. But you know what I mean? He wants to go for that low defense, so he's able to like really utilize the hit off prayer. Also, being on a Pure, being on a Zerk, obviously getting the tank gear on the Zerk, it's important, but it's not as important on the Pure. It's not as important compared to a main where you need to be in the tank gear all the time. So he just goes for those off prayer hits, goes for that momentum, goes for those DDS specs to try and get the KO as well. So he can definitely make it count, and I imagine that's probably why he's going for that compared to other competitors. Well, we haven't truly seen the Zerker setup today. We did actually get the back end of another fight that was in there. I think it was Doobies versus Peta was in the setup where unfortunately take Doobies out. Yeah. But today we're going to be seeing it for the first time as the full fights right now. We're just looking at the screens and it looks like Solar Mission has decided to run probably the worst time. Guess we're going to be talking a bit about this, but other than that, yeah, it's going to be a good matchup. But again, if we do go back to that house, Solar Mission, but they'd be running on the NH stake kind of rules. Again, if Torvesta is understanding what Solar Mission, you know, does he have high health? Is he frozen? Is he going to prioritize the barrage? Even with just the Mystic Road top pod, step out, predict it, bolt on that. How he's going to be playing. Yeah, I'll say two things about Solar Mission. One is it's so difficult to tell how that man plays. He plays kind of almost unpredictable. He's not like a PK in Deep Wilderness where you can kind of track his movement. He has got back. If you guys Stars League mission, which is why he's only just got back now. But yeah, I look forward to seeing how he does play. He is my boss after all. Big fan of Big Solar Mission. Not to say that Torvesta doesn't have a chance against him. He is the fan favorite right now in the chat as well. And Alex and I also go really far back. But yes, the Zerg setup's going to be the first one we're going to see here. And having that AGS is maybe why Torvesta wants to see it as well. That big AGS, 70 KO potential on it as well. The 2 and the mage bonus as well is going to be pretty strong as well. You know, you've got the Purging Staff, the highest magic accuracy staff in the game. The Blue Moon as well, giving you more strength bonus. You can utilize it with the AGS too. But we're jumping into this one. Torvesta versus Solar Mission. First fight with the Zerk. We see a fight from Solar Mission to start. He gets that freeze. Catch him back there from Solar Mission though. He is extending the beginning of the lead, looking really solid. Another hit off breath for him. It's a 10-ball Torvesta. Just having to eat food and losing quite a bit of damage now. Getting caught in the ropes by a 0-ball. Unfortunate for Solar Mission. Goes for the AGS. Torvesta gets hit at 28 barrage though. Solar Mission looking really solid at the start of this fight. He doesn't go for the AGS there. Goes for a barrage instead and hits it off prayer. In these Zerk fights, if you're getting hit off prayer, the damage is really going to ramp up. Finally goes for an AGS. Both players now going to get special attack back as the fight continues. That's a ball on the robes and the prey mates for Solar Mission there, but Torvesta has this interesting strategy where he constantly runs away away from the opponent. It's like he's trying to force this from being a tri-bridge fight into just a mage and a ranged battle, or potentially he's hoping that the opponent goes for a whip and he manages to get the gap on him, causing them to lose the hits entirely in that. But he ran away from Solar Mission at the beginning of that fight there, didn't really trade anything back and just sacrificed the freeze over to Solo. Solo did dump an Aegis back on Torvesta as well. It was off the prep, only for 0 damage, but that is the game we play now. Right now, we see Torvesta a lot of the time will hold that special attack above Solar Mission to see if he'll continuously pray melee, anticipating the AGS coming out at some point. We're jumping into Solar Mission's POV, and I'm gonna have to say, who the hell switches horizontal? It's not normal, Solar Mission, I'm sorry. Does anyone play this way? I don't know, but maybe if it works, it works.
Yeah, this is insane to see, honestly. I'm very surprised, and honestly, hey, if it works for him, like you say, it does work. We see a beautiful bolt there off prayers of 33. Wasn't fully potted up for that one, unfortunately for him, but still a max hit nonetheless. Going for a double rage potion there. I think he might have misclicked or maybe just brewed again. AGS from Torvesta, but of course, Solar Mission sees that one coming. Steps underneath straight away after catching the freeze as well. Damage ramping up right now for Solar Mission. Another barrage off prayer 2, going for a whipper, getting a free hit in there as well. 22 max hit on the prayer. Now stepping underneath once again, but unable to do so. Torvesta does catch that freeze, but not before getting hit at 36. It's an AGS
Damn, Solo came back on him.
as well. What a KO there. Look at them smiling at each other. Real scenes.
Damn.
Right now, if Torvesta had food in his inventory, I can't see him going through all his food in that moment. It looks like he has quite a bit of food, and Torvesta once again falls to a KO. 10 million confirmed in the prize pool, and Torvesta has extended his streak from yesterday of getting KO'd over and over again. The king of death
wins. Torvesta, I don't know after that.
It is crazy, but Solar Mission, it was beautiful there, and I guess that Torvesta just didn't expect Solar Mission to go for an AGS there. Everything textbook is screaming AGS spec here. Maybe Torvesta knows that and he second guesses it, expecting something else. Unfortunately, Solar Mission did rip the AGS there, and it did hit the damage, and it takes him out. But jumping into Peter and Mutz.
Oh my gosh, wait a minute. Peter has been not undefeated, but only lost one fight so far, and Mutz right now looking really solid in this one. Up quite a bit of damage on Peter. Beautiful claw spec there. It's a 38 through the prayer, though. Peter does see it coming. He retaliates with a bolt as well. Peter down to 35 HP. Trying to get a freeze right now. Mutz needs to secure this win for himself. Does catch the freeze, but gets hit a 20 bolt back. And now a bolt proc as well on Mutz again. It's 21 HP. Peter has actually brought this one back. Only 25 HP left in this one. Stepping out, and Mutz needs one more barrage, one more hit to finish him off. Peter doesn't have special attack, but he does catch the freeze. It's 27 off rare there for Peter. He's also flicking redemption up. He's actually brought it right. He's turned it around. One more hit, but the same goes for Mutz as well. Both on 13 HP.
Damn.
Mutz
He
goes
came
down.
back. Yeah, Peter be coming back, and you think he beat him, he come right back on you. That's crazy.
From Peter right there, but Mutz, he's been practicing
Looking
on Reese
great,
all
dude.
day, and Reese and Petter do have like a very similar score right now. But I think, obviously Mutz, Rhinoceros as well. 3 Rhinos in the building from All Stars 3 right now, but he's been fighting Reese all day, and that warm-up alone is how he manages to stand toe-and-toe with Petter right there, who was standing toe-and-toe with Oda. But Mutz, he might be absolutely on form today. We'll try and see the scores, but unfortunately, he did just fall shy there. Did not quite take Petter out, but even being that close must be huge for the confidence. Jumping back into Torvesta versus Solar Mission. Deadman mode setup on both sides of this. Solar Mission does select the Deadman setup. Will Torvesta get KO'd again? And will you guys be 20 mil richer? Or is he going to take Solar Mission down and even up the score?
Wow, we see a 63 to avoid Waker. Torvesta trying to get the KO back on Solo early on. Also another VLS off res of 44, using all of his special attack energy at the start of the fight, getting so much momentum onto Solar Mission. Solar Mission, though, does keep his cool, does catch the freeze, and give up any hits at the same time. Now, Solar Mission does have special attack energy to bring himself back into this fight. Torvesta trying to not let it happen, switching between range and melee as much as he possibly can. Doesn't get hit a VLS. There's one VLS for Solar Mission. It will start to regenerate back, at least for him. Not the biggest of hits, though. Torvesta does pray accordingly. Another VLS coming in. 27 again. It's guaranteed. No damage from the prayer. Very nice. And now we see a barrage there from Solar Mission into another barrage from Solar Mission. Both connecting into a lovely little javelin off prayer there as well. But it's a 0. Another one. 24 on the Vengeance, going for maybe a VLS, deciding to heal back up again as well. Doesn't want to get KO'd, just like his opponent just did a second ago. Taking his very sweet time about this, though. Playing very calculated, as I mentioned before. Beautiful Vengeance there. Blah. Oh, 37 barrage there as well. Now, Torvesta, if he steps out, he's going to get met with the VLS of Doom. No DFS equipped either. Never mind. behind. Torvesta actually knows he has special attack and moves to the side accordingly. Getting quite low HP right now in this fight. Can Mr. Solo Mission be able to take it out? Getting hit at 43. He does have special attack. Will he go for the Void Waker? He's not going for the Void Waker, not going for Spec, just holding it over his head, just going for constant. Oh my gosh, 39 from the Javelin there as well. So many Javelins off Prayer. Now a VLS to 30 through the Prayer as well. Gets caught in place though, and now Torvesta will also have special attack energy.
And Torvesta does catch a fresh freeze onto Solar Mission. A lot of time to work on this DD hit. 2 hard food onto Torvesta, 0 onto Solar Mission. He's opting not to use the DFS and not the Torva legs. His reasoning, keep things simple. The less things in your inventory, the less mistakes you might make. Having those extra switches there, again, if it spangles your inventory and you're making the mistake, you're going to lose the fight regardless of the damage bonus. That is how he plays. Torvesta, again, also looking like he's opting out on using the Torva legs, but the DFS is being used in his arsenal. 1 hard food, though, on Torvesta, and he may have to eat that immediately after the 42 Javelin from Solar Mission. Both players frozen apart from each other right now. Again, the Zoriel staff right now and the Blood Barrage, even if they're praying mates, it will still heal the full damage that it would have done. Big 36 Javelin from Solar Mission. Torvesta does drop the Vengeance, but it's broken immediately by Solar Mission. He goes for the redemption and the Prey Mage's prediction. Unfortunately, Torvesta throws the Javelin and it takes Solar Mission out of the game. It is an even out 1-1 right now. Solar Mission 1 KO on Torvesta and Torvesta 1 clean kill onto Solar Mission and Reese. Oh, look at the inventories.
What are we seeing right here? Reese, the man that's known so well on the tracker, but Sync actually up so much damage. What an underrated player. We saw yesterday him being one of the MVPs in the Castle Wars and a lot of the multi-situations. Sync, a well-known PVM, but also on the sticks of PvP. He's actually been practicing so much behind the scenes as well. Beautiful freeze there for him, and he gets bolt KO'd. Reese goes down. Look at Sync's inventory, a whole group and 3 Anglerfish remaining. Sync looking so good out there. I think Reese has barely lost a fight. I think all day today, it's maybe his 2nd fight that he lost, and who would have expected it to be against Sync?
Yep, that was Reese's 2nd loss. He lost 1 to Torvesta and he just lost 1 to Sync. And I'm going to have to say this right now. I need to see the tracker from that fight. I need to see if Reese was just absolutely exploding and winning that completely, just because I know right now he'll be crushing his Diet Coke cans, being like, what is going on? As long as Reese wins on the science, he's fine with the loss. But other than that, let's not talk about Reese. Beautiful performance by Sync. We only did catch the end of the fight, but no one's going to be beating Reese comfortably with that food in the inventory without a fantastic performance. So really big one from Sync there to put a point on the board again. We will have a couple more fights coming up in a moment, and then we're going to see the seeding board, and we might be able to see if anybody, unfortunately, is impossibly hard to qualify, or who's going to be right on the verge of being the first 4 people knocked out of Crusader Classic 2026, and unfortunately losing the opportunity to win that $10,000.
Yeah, these guys are getting geared up once again for the next battle they're taking place, and we've seen Torvesta versus Solar Mission mostly in this last round. Currently, it's a 1-1 score. Torvesta bringing it back after getting KO'd in the first fight. We're jumping in to the standard NH setup. We see a Claw Spec from Solar Mission off the rip. Both players now frozen away from each other. Doesn't mean though that Solar Mission is going to start getting back special attack. A beautiful 40 bolt there from Solar Mission as well. Torvesta being forced to have to heal up damage. A 31 Blood Barrage though, as he is starting to use his, oh my god, his Bruce, his measure level's gone down so much, which means every single barrage there from Solar Mission is connecting. Solo unfrozen Claw Spec. Torvesta sees it coming. Torvesta, and now beautiful freeze attempt from him as well. Solar Mission has no choice but to actually stop going for the claw. Maybe here though, Torvesta doesn't want to get going again. He's putting up Prey Melee, and as a result, Solar Mission can actually just chuck in non-stop hits off Prayer. There is one of them, and it connects with a 40 bolt on Torvesta. Torvesta does stop Solar Mission in his tracks though, which means he doesn't have to keep praying melee against the claw special. Looking at the inventories right now, Torvesta down so much hard food. 2 bruise, does get a Claw Spec off. It's a 38 through the Prey melee. Solar Mission now taking a 28 Blood Barrage as well. Torvesta really starting to hit it up, getting himself back into this fight. Both players do have special attack, but Solar Mission does not want to give up his advantage. Catches a beautiful freeze. Torvesta now once again down to quite low HP voting.
I have heard that Mod Sween is in the building. Solar Mission just went to the restroom. Suddenly it comes out with the Golden Boy RNG. I am calling some level of tomfoolery right now. Solar Mission's damage is absolutely insane. It's another huge one. Oh my goodness. If you are Torvesta right now, it is just, you're just asking yourself, what can you do? Everything that Solar Mission was just launching at their prayer, right or not, from Torvesta, it was just doing damage. Absolutely incredible start for Solar Mission. He gets the claws off the prayer there as well. Not quite the damage you would actually expect based on all the previous damage that he's done, but the golden boy Solar Mission here is making clean work of Torvesta. But Torvesta's not out of this right now. He does have the ability to come back, maybe even retaliates with a KO of his own, but I think Solar Mission understands how far ahead he is right now, and he understands as well, just keep this fight slow, take it easy, don't take a risk. He just ate an anglerfish at 97 hit points to put himself at 118. It's going to be a painful, torturous event for Torvesta here.
Oh,
he's completely out of food. Solar Mission's
yeah.
got absolutely everything, but Torvesta will not give up. The only thing he's got going for him is a claw stack right now. Maybe two if he can hold on, but Solar Mission has a claw stack coming up soon as well.
Yeah, beautiful play there from Solar Mission. This is what I was talking about before. The standard NH setup, he is just so unpredictable.
Solar Mission, Torvesta messing up this round.
Not play like that at all. Solo has that DD advantage. He has claw special. Torvesta throws one in. It's a 30 off prayer on Solo. It's not enough to get back into this fight. Solar Mission going for that refreeze, but he does get frozen. Never mind. Torvesta now making a slight comeback, but oh my god, the hurdle he has to climb right now. Looking at the inventory, Solar Mission does stop Torvesta in his track. Solar Mission with that claw special. He's going to go for it here any second now, and maybe finish one out. 23 Blood Rush off prayer, the claw spec. It's a 2. That was a huge chance. The whip finishes him off. Solar Mission.
Damn.
Torvesta, look at them.
Torvesta, what you doing?
I mean, if I was Torvesta, I would not be saying that was a great fight. I'd be seeping at the teeth. I'm imagining myself in Last Man Standing right now, and you fight someone. Then again, Solar Mission is not bad at all, but you fight that person, and they're good. And I love fighting a good place, but they're just there like, here's a 30, here's a 30, oh, a 25. Oh, you know what? You bottled me on prayer. Here's a 0. I'm just like, it's so infuriating to get beaten that bad, and that is exactly what Torvesta had to go for. But he didn't give up. He gave it his all, but an absolutely commanding performance there from Solar Mission. All the damage coming in. I'm blaming Sweden for that one.
That's insane, actually. Solar Mission, obviously, like I said before, he does perform really well in those like standard NH setups. So much experience compared to some of the other players. The main style that he actually likes to do when it comes to competitive play for the DMM finals and all that kind of stuff too. Torvesta, on the other hand, that's why he likes the Pures, the Zerg, stuff that other people doesn't have that much experience on. But you know, Solar Mission, he's so unpredictable. I fought him a lot for the last All-Stars that I played in last year, as he was trying to like check out who he wanted for his team. And dude, that man, he's a menace. You just don't know what he's going to use on you. He's just always randomizing his mage range and melee attack styles. And right there, Torvesta just got hit on prayer so much. And to be fair, everything did connect. I mean, Solar Mission played very well, but the RNG, the constant 20s, the 30s, it was just too much to come back from. Torvesta right there, losing by hundreds and hundreds of damage.
Yeah, by hundreds and hundreds.
Win from Solar Mission. But again, everything today is about securing a spot in the top 8. We have all the fights done from, I believe that was round 4. We have only one round left, and I think it's fair to say that Doobies has no chance of today. Unfortunately for him, Sync needs to win every single fight, and Lake, Mika, or Torvesta have to lose every fight to give Sync a chance. He's at the high seeding, so he could still come from that bottom run. But other than that, Peta, Reese, and Odablock with huge performances, the only double digits on this entire board. Look at the difference, though, of Reese in Group A compared to that Group B stack at the top.
Oh, yeah, he's been dominating Group A right now. Solar Mission and Vank still have an opportunity not to get kicked out. They're in the firing line, though. They need to win at least, 2, maybe even 3 of their fights to actually stay in this one based on how other people do perform. As you mentioned, Judy Dobies, unfortunately, going to get 3 points in this next round, so he won't be able to get into that top 4. Sync as well. We saw him really warmed up, fighting Peter and, fighting Reese, and actually winning really well, the strongest competitor in this Group A. So I'm glad he got that spotlight, and that's really showing what he's capable of. Sync still has an opportunity if he can get a 3-0 victory to stay in the competition too. Solo Mission, though, after that last victory, that landslide victory, the biggest victory we've seen thus far, I think he's feeling very confident. Coming up momentarily, we're going to have Reese versus Mika, Sync versus Solar Mission, Lake versus Torvesta in Group A. Group B is going to involve Odablock versus Mutz, Vank versus GB Dobies, Peter versus Lagunarium.
This is a good late. I'm actually quite excited for the Lake Torvesta fight. Sync versus Solar Mission will be a fun one. Reese and Mika as well. Can Reese maintain his dominant performance? But again, Odabot versus Mutz. Mutz did such a good job against Peta from what we saw. I do think Peta did beat him 3-0 overall, but has Mutz now warmed up on Peta to go against the Big O and potentially prevent Pedder from getting that number 1, because Pedder's opponent is Lagunarium. They've not fought yet, and I think that will be an absolute banger of a fight. Vancouver versus Doobies as well. Doobies, unfortunately, no chance to qualify.
Yeah, no, unfortunately,
in this one,
he can't get more than 3 points, so he cannot get to at least a minimum of 4. I will say as well, Sync versus Solo Mission. That's a really interesting one too in Group A. Sync and Solo Mission both in again that firing line, being at the bottom 2 currently. So they're both playing to stay in it. Whoever wins and potentially a 3-0 victory could keep them in the comp. So that's a really, really interesting battle coming up for both of those guys.
As far as I'm aware, Sync needs to beat Solo Mission 3-0 to qualify.
He does,
I don't think there's any other combination. So right now, if Solo Mission beats Sync in the first round, unfortunately the remaining fights aren't going to do much. But Solo Mission still might need to get more damage on that to perform something a bit higher to make sure he doesn't end up on the bottom with Sync outside the top.
Exactly, they're both in the firing line right now. So, you know, Solo Mission needs to get at least a 2-1 potentially, and Sync needs that 3-0. So everything to play for right now for these two participants. Out of the fights coming up, Bodhi, which other ones are you looking forward to? I think you mentioned Peter versus Lagunarium should also be a banger one to watch. Obviously, Lagunarium finally being on pick.
Lake or Travesta? I'm going Lake.
Other than that, there's obviously Lake and Torvesta too. We just saw Torvesta getting KO'd, and he doesn't want to get KO'd again against Torvesta. Lake versus Torvesta. 1 in the chat for Lake, 2 in the chat for Torvesta. Who do you think is taking this one out? I think Torvesta's stock might have gone down a little bit based on the past few fights that he's had.
I mean, again, everyone's opponent is difficult. You can't be saying that Solo Mission is a pushover, but again, he did get KO'd. And getting KO'd in these 1v1s is one of the worst things that can happen. Yesterday, there were 2 rules. Don't get KO'd and don't get caught in a clump. Today, there's only 1 rule. Don't get KO'd. Torvesta broke that rule, but so did Odablock, you know. So at the end of the
so did Oda. Shit, Oda got KO'd badly, son. That's crazy.
Heavy PvP doesn't really bring much else to the table as like RuneScape and all, but Lake, he brings everything to the table. But based on PvP, I'd say Torvesta's probably got the edge here, and that's all that matters. Lake's skills in the game and the PVM and all that stuff, completely useless right now. But does that mean that Torvesta's going to beat him very easily? Probably not. Right now, Lake's 73% against Torvesta's 27%. Many people believe the American is going to take out Torvesta today, but will he be able to do it on the stage again? Like we say, Torvesta starts off a bit weak at the beginning, and then he starts
I didn't mean to do that.
I don't know the importance here of the seeding, though. I think both of these players are on the verge of qualifying for a
Clicked the wrong
I was going to say, you're totally right about how Lake, you know, he's a man that has all kinds of talents, but this year in the All-Stars, he was a round 1 pick, quite rightly. We've not really seen him too much in today's competition, but he is considered to be an insane NH staker. But quite interesting, though, in this head-to-head, both players having the Pure as their best style, actually, and you know that's one that Torvesta often chooses. So the question is, if he chooses that one, will he be able to take the big Lake down? Looking at their worst setups, Torvesta, Zerka, which is one that he actually also likes to play a lot, so surprising that it's one of his worst too. DMM for Lake, surprising. He played the last Deadman mode as well, and he was, you know, running around absolute max sets, but maybe after the first few rounds these guys have had, they are fully warmed up. We're going to see them at their best today coming up. In terms of off-threat accuracy, it looks like Lake slightly up ahead against Torvesta too.
Yep, that is one as well. I don't know if they're going to choose Pure here. I think Torvesta's played Pure against almost everybody so far, but I would say that Lake probably has a bit more experience on Pure because he has thousands of LMS wins. Not to say Torvesta does not, but Lake does have a 1,000 LMS win. And again, if we look down at the practice, Torvesta, he has played a bit of every single build in every single environment though, and again, last man standing is not true PvP that's in the wilderness. That is where Torvesta has the experience. Lake, he has ran around Deadman mode, but Deadman mode is not the actual game. And again, does he have that wilderness experience that Torvesta has? Does not. So this could be a really interesting fight. We do not know what is going to be locked in gear-wise though, but I do believe, again, I'm not too sure on the seeding, but we will be seeing 3 fights between these. And as this is the last of round 3, we have a ton of fights that we're going to be showing. The first one will be this one between Torvesta and Lake. Then we're going to be having Solo Mission versus Sync, which is incredibly important for both of them because it will decide if Sync or Solo Mission qualify. And then our final fight is going to be
Torvesta might win, even though I voted for Lake.
Because Doobies unfortunately cannot qualify, and we want to give him a spotlight and see him perform against Bank. Can he beat Bank at least once to not be the only person to go 0 and 15 today? No, I think he had a point on the board. I don't think he was on 0. I think he did win 1. He just can't qualify. So fortunately for Doobies, we can already confirm he will not be having a chance at the $10,000. But we're jumping in, ladies and gentlemen, to Lake versus Torvesta, and it looks like they've opted in for the max NH setup. The Noxious Halberds are coming out again, Ian.
Yeah, love to see this. Lake starting off with a bolt retaliated by Torvesta too, both being off prayer. Another bolt from Lake into the Void Waker from downtown as a 31 through the prayer. A lot of DPS there from Lake. Misses the Halley though. Torvesta loves to go into the corner of the map. Finally catches that freeze. Stops Lake in his tracks, but before he's able to get underneath, Lake does freeze him back again. Using that special attack early on, Lake will start regenerating, whereas Torvesta will not. He wants to get a special attack really early in the fight. Saying that though, Torvesta does like to have that Void Waker spec over his opponent's head. With this Noxious Halberd, you can hit constant 60s with it if you are fortunate enough. We are in a max setup after all. A Void Waker coming in from Torvesta. It's a 36, but retaliated by a 36 off prayer by Lake. Tries to get the Void Waker. Oh! Almost getting him there. Both players though keeping the Prey Mage up, so it was not a chance. But great play there from Lake, actually getting that Void Waker spec off as Torvesta sent his as well, causing Torvesta to miss a bit of time after getting that fresh freeze. Now we see Halley for Halley, 20 for 0. And right now, Lake about to be unfrozen, goes for a Blood Barrage, 24 heal onto him, another barrage coming in. Torvesta now frozen in place, looking big with low HP. He's got to be careful to not get KO'd right now. A big bolt into him, a 44 down to like 5 hit points there. Another bolt off prayer on the ropes as well. A free hit for Lake. Lake really damaging so much right now. Torvesta's going to pray melee up, stops taking so much damage, and now needs to catch this freeze on Lake. Does catch it and has a moment to breathe. Instead though, going for more DPS. Torvesta not giving up, but damn, that damage deficit that he's currently got. Look at the inventory voting.
I mean, I saw almost deja vu right there for Torvesta. When Lake got that large bolt, Torvesta did not pray melee against the Nox Halley. The earlier on he did pray, and if he had it, the damage that he received through prayer would have been enough to actually KO him. Lake did opt in for the back-to-back bolt there, probably predicting Torvesta to pray that melee on the Nox Halley. But again, because Torvesta either hit the range prayer or was late on the melee prayer, Lake did lose any momentum that he got there. Judging Indo to Torvesta's POV, we do have a tracker on the screen at the bottom. He does have some brews left, and this setup, it's never over until it's over. The bolt can hit so hard, but that Noxious Halberd, you could be up 5 food, 6 food in the inventory. You take 2 Nox Halleys off prayer, both of them hitting the 50s, that food drops to 0.
Yeah, 32 bolt there though from Lake. He is extending his lead quite considerably right now. Looks like Torvesta is completely out of supplies. 106 hit points. Beautiful little Halley there from him though. Trying to catch the freeze, able to do so. Another Halley, unfortunately, both hits on prayer, both hitting zeros for Torvesta. He needs something to connect right now to get back into this battle. Both players will have special attack coming up now. Lake has the guaranteed Void Waker damage, and Torvesta knows he has it as well. About to get his own back to Lake, frozen in place, unfrozen now, gonna go for the freeze. Torvesta with a Halley again, is just letting it down on the ropes. And look at that, Lake also chasing Torvesta across the map, but Lake does get frozen in place. Torvesta can't get underneath.
It was still good.
One tile down, they can still utilize that, but still having that special attack. Lake still has a few hard food left, but as Bodhi said a minute ago, you know, Torvesta can get back in this with a few big hits off. Frozen. We're gonna see most likely a Void Waker, Void Waker, any second. 0 from Torvesta there. Lake, beautiful Void Waker as well from him, but both players catching it on the Prey Mage, playing so well defensively. Lake catches the freeze, which is going to be hard for Torvesta to stay in this fight. He only has 62 hit points remaining.
And that is true. I've been seeing the Noxious Halberds firing back and forth, and what I haven't seen is any damage. And in the words of me and Evie during the qualifiers, it either hits a 0 or a 50. You never see a 25, except 5 seconds ago, I did just see a 25 when it put a bolt onto Torvesta, into a Nox Halley on the 36. Like I say, it's not going to hit a 36, it's going to hit either the 0 or a 50. But Torvesta on the very scraps of health, and Lake manages to get it. Torvesta open up the tracker right as he died as well. My question was, it's on the screen. He opens the tracker and he lost on the tracker as well. Lake with a beautiful performance right there. Taking
Torvesta slipping, falling, can't get up.
On the screen right there, but beautifully played from Lake there. He does win on the tracker again. He wins on the science. We've only got it there for, I don't know why people use the tracker, it's whatever, you know, but I think Torvesta just wanted to know, did he deserve to lose there, or did he deserve to win? He sees that he deserves to lose. Fair enough, maybe he shrugs it off. He's like, 1-0, well played Lake, you know, good job. Does he beat him again is the question.
I think it's also useful to look at the tracker after, so like, see how you perform. What am I doing right? What am I not doing right? Do I need to change things? Am I hitting this guy off prayer that much? I have to change my strategy, maybe barrage a little bit more. You know, some PKers have a tendency to play in certain ways. Why am I getting off prayer? Are they using a certain style that I'm just not praying? So fair play to Torvesta there. It did look like he got a little bit unlucky, but ultimately Lake, as you mentioned, did deserve to win that one. I think he just played beautifully. It could have been a completely different story though. In that max setup, of course, once you mentioned before, the Halley, if it hits 50s or 60s, and Torvesta, to be fair to him, he got a lot of Halleys off prayer on Lake, but they were just all low digits. Saying that low, Lake did play better when it came to hits off prayer. Some of his bolts were just going ham on him. Once you start getting that momentum in those max setups, it is so hard to maintain control if you're taking so much damage, like, you know, keeping your cool, returning hits back and forth. Overall, great fight to watch, nonetheless though, and love to see Lake perform. You know, that is one of the most skilled NHs out there. Like you mentioned, has 1,000+ LMS wins, has been PKing for, despite being an Iron Man, has so much PvP experience as well at this point.
I mean, Lake only jumped into PvP in recent times, and he's already stepped up to the highest levels to qualify for this Crusader Classic 2026. But I would say as well, Lake had a fantastic start there as well. And anytime you get a good start in a fight, the momentum, the confidence, it's there. Torvesta had to fight from the back end. And I always ask myself the same question. What happens now if we reverse the situation? You give Torvesta the good start against Lake. Can he compose himself, bring himself back? Because maybe the reason that Lake won that, he did have a fantastic inventory at the end and all that, but maybe just that good start, that big bolt, the potential kill that could have actually occurred, could have happened. We're going to jump in quickly though. The Big O versus Mutz again. Surprisingly, they've met again. Unfortunately for Mutz, you know, meeting Odoblock twice. That is, unless it was a Petter actually that Mutz fought. I want to say that nobody has met each other twice in this, so I think I am incorrect there. But this is a closer fight than I thought it would potentially be right now.
Yeah, no, on the Pures, actually, Mutz doing really well. A DDS spec coming in from Odoblock, though, is a 13-13 through the prayer. Odoblock creating some distance right now, zooming out, and not able to catch that freeze. Yes, he is. Mutz being caught by a 36 barrage from Odoblock into the ball as well. Mutz out of food aside from a couple of sips of his brew, but taking a 36 into a blood barrage 13 as well. Odoblock about to take this one out. Can he finish it? He can! Odoblock wins against Mutz 2-0 there. And oh my god, what a demon he is. But fair play to Mutz for actually keeping up and it being such a close fight towards the end.
Yep, I mean, again, I'm jumping in. I see these inventories, and I'm going through the skill set that I understand players have. Now, Mutz, again, he's a fantastic player. You know, Lake Jr., you could say, you know, Lake is just phenomenal at the game. Mutz is right there with him, but we know that Oda's ahead, and the fact that they're going toe-to-toe is them basically saying, I deserve to be here right now. I can put up the fights. Unfortunately, does just fall short there, but I did see that Oda did have 2-0 on Mutz right now, and I don't know what Petter and the Laganarium score is, because, of course, Laganarium is a third opponent right now. He is in the top 3 of the seeding as well. So we'll find out later on there. And again, Reese, I don't know who Reese is against. I think it's Mika, but will he still be the top of the seeding after this final round? Ladies and gentlemen, jumping into Torvesta versus Lake, and I think we're going to see a Voidbreaker spec in just a moment. Oh, it's Dead Mode setups. We have Vesta's Longswords. Will there be Vengeance's flying round? Voidbreaker comes down on Lake. I think he was on the prayer though. The VLS 20 on the roads and Prey Mage. Big chance from Torvesta onto Lake right there, and that's 10 million gold that just faded from the eyes.
That just faded.
Yeah, very close there. Torvesta almost getting a KO back after getting KO'd himself earlier in the day. He still has 25% special attack energy for that VLS. Currently, Lake frozen in place. Torvesta with the Staff Bash. Unfortunate timing from him. Goes for the VLS. It's off prayer. It's a 17 only, though. Gets retaliated by a 39 VLS from Lake, who's now got those special attacks as well. 17 through the prayer. Not great from him. Great play from Torvesta. Also praying melee accordingly. Lake has the DD advantage, utilizing it to its best potential by healing up to almost full HP. Doesn't want to get KO'd in these setups. It's so easy to get KO'd in these setups too with the Vengeance Trinket as well. Another VLS from Lake is a 36 off prayer. He is frozen in place, but still doing a great job of retaliating all of the damage. Torvesta thinking about what to do next, biding his time, going for a VLS whack off prayer. It's a 0, going for some distance. He does love to do that, but gets caught in place. Lake does not let him get that gap. A 32 barrage freeze from Lake. Now Torvesta missing a hit there, having to heal up. Doesn't want to get KO'd in one of these Outlast fights. He's down quite a lot of damage, it looks like. Going to opt to go for the freeze now as well, trying his best to do so, but Lake just not being frozen in place. He missed the Virtus top. Can he catch? No, he's splashed 3 times in a row. Can he catch? He does finally catch. Right, Torvesta gets underneath. No, he's not able to. The Lake playing so well defensively right now. Looks like Torvesta will be getting some VLS special attack back any second. He does now have a VLS to utilize, but he is getting barraged.
This thing does not want to hit
by Lake. Lake really extending his lead. Torvesta has only 2 Brucids left. Lake also chucking in a VLS as well as the 27. Beautiful, lovely vengeance there from Torvesta. He actually chanced Lake, I believe, on about 40 hit points. Lake creating some distance, doesn't want to get KO'd. He's 84 HP now, can't get KO'd on that hit point. Torvesta getting frozen in place, 44 hit points, and a dream. Lake doesn't have any such attack, but he doesn't need it. Only 17 HP left to hit, and there it is, the 38. Lake takes another victory against Torvesta.
Dun, dun, dun.
Lead that he's got now, Botu.
Oh, I voted correctly.
8-0 lead for Lake right there.
Torvesta slipping, falling. Can't get up.
Like that. His inventory was really healthy at the end, over 100 hit points of health there. Most definitely, and again, Lake proving, you know, yes, I know I'm one of the best PVMers in the game, but Lake is proving that, yes, I can also PvP to the highest level when I need to, especially on the LAN. You know, he's not even on his own setup right now. All these guys are playing off their setups. They've had to practice as close as possible, but Lake, again, one of those people, I think he's probably close to qualifying right now as well, but that's 2 seed points he's taking from Torvesta.
Yeah, really well played there by Lake. Honestly, the way that he, you know, just keeps his calm, even when taking a lot of damage, he's returning those hits as well. The VLS specials from him were absolutely impeccable, despite, you know, having to heal food and, you know, having that DD on him from Torvesta. Torvesta there, I think, just maybe, I'm not going to say shaking a little bit, but obviously the nerves clearly getting to him because he was, you know, he's freezing a few times in a row there with the Zori body on instead of the double Virtus, trying to catch those freezes, just splashing a lot. Maybe a little bit of bad RNG there for Torvesta to do, to be fair to him. But yeah, just wasn't enough in the system there to be able to take a point back from Lake. We still have one more fight to watch though, so maybe Torvesta can clutch one back again. He actually almost did get a KO on Lake. I think it was like a 40 javelin almost around that HP that he could have actually ended it and brought back that deficit of damage just like that. We could have seen another KO, but unfortunately Torvesta, no RNG for him now.
That is true. I did see as well, I don't know the tech, the Elitness wards are in here, so there is more mage bonus. Maybe camping the Missouri body is, once again, the science that Reese would talk about where it could be worth, because again, if you get caught with a javelin or a VLS swipe or anything on that double Virtus, it's going to hurt. A lot more than those claw specs traded back and forth there. I think first off prayer, second on prayer, both doing just 2 damage or 1 damage respectively, but both players have launched the spec, which means they're both now regenerating as well. But this is the standard NH setup, and again, both of these players, they were Deadman All-Stars 3. They were first picks for their teams, a framed friend Lake versus the Reese Rhino Torvesta. They were picked next to each other on the board as far as I'm aware, and this is the setup that they would practice the most with before Deadman All-Stars 3. But that event is in the past. This event is in the present, and right now Lake is playing for a potential 3rd seed point. Torvesta trailing behind with 0. Can he get a kill on Lake?
Beautiful claw spec there from Torvesta, as you said, that 36 claw spec off prayer. Torvesta now keeping some distance between him and Lake, trying to weasel in and out, and 39 bolt there, beautifully played by Torvesta. I was going to say that Lake's had so much experience with LMS style, this kind of a standard NH setup, but Torvesta doing a great job of keeping his cool. Saying that though, Lake not giving up, hitting a 29 bolt there off prayer, and now we see from Torvesta's POV struggling to catch a freeze once more, taking quite a bit of damage. A little bit unfortunate for him in this situation. He's down damage, but only a little bit in this current situation. He doesn't have special attack, but we'll see another one coming up before the fight is over. A little bit of a star bash there from Lake. A little unfortunate for him, but that's what you want to see if you are Torvesta. Stepping underneath, catching that refreeze as well. Healing up to 104 HP. Doesn't want to get KO'd. Sidesteps, maybe a whipper instead. Goes for a free hit. It is a faster attack speed, so he gets a free hit there from the bolt as well. Great game knowledge there from Torvesta, but unfortunately for him, he is caught in his tracks by Lake. Catches that freeze, steps underneath. Now Lake has a slight advantage.
Again, the food will jump into the POV above as well, but a lot of players with this, they do wield the Mystic Top. They keep the Varric skirt on. That is similar to maybe what the science could be with the holding of the Missouri body on with the Elitness Ward as well. That is because the Varric skirt does not have any negative mage attack, and if you're going to trade the freeze and get bolted on the double robes, you're probably going to get punished more than if you catch the freeze. It is the science, as Reese say. It's the NH stake rules, and both these players, if not every single player that is competing today, knows that. Torvesta's health does drop a bit low there, so Lake does not have a special attack to follow up, but he does catch Torvesta in the corner. He has a lot of time to work with it. He will probably get a special attack before the end of this freeze, but again, both players on green bars right now, looking healthy potential. 21 bolt proc, a bit low, unfortunate there. Dumps the claws, was on the prayer, but he did get the max damage. Torvesta immediately retaliates here with a freeze onto Lake. He's unfrozen. He's low health, but he can slow this fight down by stepping underneath and rehealing.
Yeah, he needed that freeze so badly to get his HP back up without losing any hits. But unfortunately for him, 106 HP to play with. Gets frozen in place straight away from Lake. Torvesta right now only has one brood remaining. He does have that claw special. He's going to need to send that Hail Mary. This man is really good with the KO potentials, but Lake isn't someone that's going to just, give up and give him that free attempt. As you see there, he's stepping away, not letting him use the claw spec. Looks like Torvesta instead goes for the freeze. Now has a DD advantage onto Lake, but looking at Lake's inventory, oh my gosh, he has dominated this battle. He's going to go for the claw potentially, and Lake sees it coming, so he pulls out after seeing the prey melee. Torvesta now going really far. He loves to go at the other side of the map as his opponent's about to get frozen. Really great tech there from Torvesta. Going far again, needs to catch this next freeze to stay in the fight, but Lake going for some bolts off prayer as well. Lake going for the freeze, splashes. Torvesta splashes as well. Lake does catch the freeze. It's a 26 on to Torvesta. He has to now start brewing his last few HP resources remaining. He has that claw spec, but just hasn't been able to utilize it, Boaty.
Yep, that is true. Now, Torvesta, unfortunately, completely out of food with the freeze held in here by Lake, but he will unfreeze in a moment, and what he has to do is he has to try and catch this freeze, which he does manage to get. Lake punishes back, but does not get the freeze, just only gets the damage. Torvesta does still have all his potions here. It's a big barrage. All he needs is a big ball to follow, and this is the momentum that can bring Torvesta back into this fight. He's completely out of food, and all he needs to do is hold Lake in place right now, get as much damage out as possible, and potentially bring this back. 80% spec on Torvesta as well. A large spec off prayer, which unfortunately misses, can make Lake eat again. Torvesta, though, does get frozen by Lake. Lake can now slow the fight down again, eat the remainder of his food. Torvesta has 63 hit points to work with, but he does have a lot of Sand Fuse, and we could see some redemptions. It is possible. Torvesta's definitely not being wrote off right now by Lake, but Lake also knows that Torvesta's capable of doing this, and he doesn't want to make any mistake. He's going to go for a clinical conclusion to this and try and take Torvesta out comfortably.
Yep, right now this next freeze could decide it. Can Torvesta have the comeback there? He needs 46 hit points and a dream. He runs the other side of the map, but he's caught in place. He catches Lake next to a Tribal Fire. He does have special attack, returning now 50% special attack. And then course, Lake goes for the claw spec as well. Both retaliating. Can he get a redemption flick? He's going for it. 24 for Torvesta. He's 9 hit points and a dream though. I'm not too sure if he's going to be able to do it. He's giving his best shot regardless. A claw spec, maybe we're not going to come back in time. Maybe any second now. There is a redemption flick. Torvesta actually stays alive. Can he turn this around? Oh my god, Lake going the distance as well. Needs to catch this freeze. Currently, he's 19 hit points. He is prayer flicking so well. He just missed the redemption flick there. He does catch the freeze, but the next hit from Lake will secure it. A lovely ball off prayer there, though, from Torvesta. 6 hit points, and he's brought it back so well. What a fantastic performance up until that star flash. He steps underneath, has the DD, step to the side. Can he get it? No, he's not able to do so. Lake finishes him off. A 3-0 victory.
Damn, Lake beat him 3-0 victory.
From Torvesta, right, Bodhi?
Torvesta with the redemptions. I brought the attention to the Sand Fuse so that I knew the redemptions were potentially going to come out. He locked a few of them in there as well. He did miss one because, again, Lake stepped out. The projectile speed is now slower. Torvesta flicks the redemption on and unfortunately went back to the prayer, assuming that it was hitting the 0 or it was splashing. And then, unfortunately, it would have popped the redemption there as well. Could have been the difference right there. But again, Lake was 100 and something health up, and he just took him right down to the wire there. But Lake, 3-0 on Torvesta. I do think the poll was in favor of Lake there, but he is proving how well he can PK in this game, especially someone like Torvesta. They're from America. Lake is from America, Torvesta's from the UK. They've never fought on the same ping before, except for maybe Deadman All-Stars, where they probably did meet each other. But other than that, Lake just proving why he belongs to be here, because Torvesta, fantastic player killer. Lake proving he's also just as good. Yeah, I mean, everyone out here today are all insane PKers, but yeah, Lake is considered to be like one of the best for the PVMers especially. But Torvesta, I'm glad at the very least. He did get 3-0'd, but he had an amazing...
He did get 3-0'd.
Got so many hits off rare. I think he was down 200 plus damage in 1 point.
Lake the new... I mean, is Torvesta the new solo mission?
From him, too little, too late.
Solo mission, turn it around.
And Lake deserved to have that win as well. But yeah, great match nonetheless to check those two guys fighting each other. They've been on demo teams in the past as well. I think Lake was part of the TOA Titans at one point a couple years ago back as well, so they know each other very well. But yeah, amazing performance. I mean, TOA knows how good Lake is as a result. Yeah, great to watch that battle.
That is true, but coming up is a bit more of an important one. I do not know the seeding, so maybe I'm lying. For all I know, TOA is actually eliminated. We'll have to find that out later on right now. But this is extremely important for both Solo Mission and Sync. All I can say is that Sync needs to win 3 in a row against Solo Mission here to qualify. Otherwise, Sync will unfortunately be joining Doobies as the first or the second player eliminated. Unfortunately, Doobies does not have the ability to qualify. We will be watching his fight after this one in a moment, but Sync needs to beat Solo Mission 3 times in a row, and if he does so, Solo Mission might actually be eliminated right now. We do not know.
Yeah, this is such an important fight for both of these participants, and this is not a setup for Sync who wants to fight Solo Mission in. I would imagine Solo Mission's so good at this NH style, starting off with some big 40 bolts onto Sync as well at the beginning of this battle, catches him on the rope as well, a 14 off prayer as well. Solo Mission does have that lead of having the DD advantage, both using the special attacks early, but Sync going down a few food. Both players unfrozen now. Sync going for the refreeze on Solo Mission, but unfortunately for him, unable to catch it. Solo Mission does get, once again, the freeze advantage. Steps out. Never mind, he didn't actually catch it there. Sync was just standing still. Sync does catch the freeze and steps underneath. Now the ball is in Sync's court. Will he utilize that claw spec? Beautiful claw there from Solo, but Sync saw it coming, kept the prey melee up. It was only a 24 through the prayer, and now Sync deciding to actually hold that special attack. He is just whipping over and over again, but Solo Mission sees it coming as well, keeps up the prey melee. He knows about that claw special, and he's not going to give him an inch to be able to get back to this fight. A beautiful 30 barrage there from Solo, now returning with the whips of his own. He has the special attack though, Sync. Will he utilize it at the right time to get back into this fight? Down about 2 brews and quite a bit of hard food as well. Solo Mission extending his lead quite considerably in these last 2 freezes. Now Sync does manage to catch the freeze, and hopefully for him he can get back into this. A 42 bolt off prayer into the whip though. Solo shuts that down. An 18 as well though, all these hits definitely adding up to get him back into this fight. Sync just whipping over and over again, but Solo Mission keeping the prey melee up. None of them really connecting for Sync. Now Solo Mission does catch that freeze and now has that DD advantage as well. Sync still not utilizing that special attack. At the moment, Solo Mission going for the bolts. A 31 bolt proc into another bolt off prayer. That was a free hit for Solo Mission. Goes the distance now as his opponent's supposed to be unfrozen. 34 barrage off prayer. Solo Mission's lead has been extended quite considerably in this situation. Both players now frozen against each other, and we'll have a range and mage battle ensuing.
Again, Solo Mission with the standard NH setup, and this was actually chosen by Sync as per yesterday's seeding, and I bet Solo Mission was very happy with that. The second gear setup we see between these, we will see all 3 fights between Sync and Solo Mission. We do have some information as well on how the seeding is working, which we will get to after all fights are said and done. But other than that, this is all Solo Mission right now. Sync's going to have to pull out some big damage, which he can potentially do with that 90% special attack. As soon as he does get a double claw, that can be the difference. The claws, a lot of the time, they do hit quite low, but if it just drops to 60 at the right time, it's enough for potential momentum. Big 46 bolt from Sync. He does pull the claws. He's stepping out. He's changed his decision based on Solo Mission getting the protect from melee up, but Solo Mission manages to get the freeze. Sync retaliates, catches the freeze back onto Solo Mission, and again, it's another major range fight, but Sync has 100% special attack. It is not recharging any higher, and we're jumping in to Solo Mission's POV in this fight.
Yep, Solo Mission right now has a few anglerfish remaining. Actually, Sync has brought this back beautifully. That's an off-prayer special attack. It's a 38, a pretty solid favor. 35 ball as well. Sync doing a great job bringing this one back for himself. Got to be careful here, Solo Mission. Sync on 34 hit points. The opponent has a claw special attack in the chamber. Uses last specs as well. He's also got the 60% as sidestep, knowing that Sync needs to utilize that. I think Sync might actually have the lead now compared to Solo Mission, despite him being up damage most of the fight. Goes distance. A claw spec from Sync. Its guarantee is 26 damage, but getting hit a 44 ball. That means he's down to only 2 HP. Never mind. He's got the redemption flick off. Goes for the claw spec as well. So 36 through the prayer. Here goes for another one. A 46 bolt proc for Solo Mission. This fight is so close at the moment. Not much damage in it. 28 hit points for Solo Mission, flicking up that redemption absolutely beautifully. About to be unfrozen here. Both players are unfrozen right now, and Sync on full hit points, where he has a lot more food than I thought he did. Now, this next freeze, Solo Mission needs to catch it, but he's not able to do so. Sync closes it off with a 37 ball, and that is a win for Sync 1-0.
Solo Mission was so ahead the whole time, and Sync is just like, nope, this is how I like to fight. I'll give you a bit at the beginning, but I'm going to bring this back, because I'll be honest, while you were commenting, I was watching the fight. We had Solo Mission's POV, and all his food just went down. Solo Mission had no answer for it. He was taking all the damage. I would really say Solo Mission was stepping ahead, but Sync needs 3 victories in a row on Solo Mission. He's managed to knock out the first win, but he needs 2 more back-to-back in order to potentially qualify today.
What an amazing comeback there from Sync, honestly. I thought just a few times there, I was like, wait a minute, you know, Solo Mission's still winning, you know, Sync's pretty much out. No, he just kept going. The claw specs off prayer were beautifully timed there from Sync. The bolt procs as well. Every time Solo Mission would like catch Sync, and I think, oh, Solo Mission's going to clear this one out now. Sync would just hit like a 40 ball off prayer, or go for a claw spec as well. Absolute scenes, voter.
Indeed. What scenes we have right now is for one lucky individual in this chat will be able to win 40 million GP due to 4 KOs that we've had so far today. We saw 2 of them live on the broadcast. Unfortunately, Odegaard getting KO'd by Pettis VLS, and Torvesta as well fell to, I can't remember who, but he just fell over with half an inventory of food, which is unfortunate there, but not unfortunate for you guys, as there is 40 million to win. KO is your keywords or letters in the chat right now on kick.com/Crusader. Type it in the chat. Come on, get your phone out, Ian. I know you're going to qualify.
You know I do. I do love a good giveaway, but you're not wrong here, guys. Don't forget to drop a follow as well. You know, seeing number go up as RuneScape players, we love to see that, and obviously you want to see the Crusader Classic return next time, so make sure you drop a follow, chuck in the KO keyword in the chat, and good luck to you all. I won't enter. I don't want to steal the money from these guys, you know.
Nah, I know Solo Mission just entered. That's why we have a bit of a delay on this next fight between Sync and Solo Mission, because he just needs to quickly enter the giveaway. So I'm going to say this honestly, bad luck Solo Mission. I hope you don't win. It'd be actually very strange if he actually managed to win without anything being rigged, because everyone would be there like, what? How has he managed to do that? Other than that, we are setting up the next fight in a moment, which is going to be, once again, I believe, Sync versus Solo Mission right now. Sync 1-0 up on Solo Mission, and he needs 3 consecutive defeats on Solo Mission, or 2 more in order to potentially qualify.
But at the same time, Solo Mission needs to not lose anymore either, because he's also in the firing line. He needs to get at least 1 point, probably 2 to be honest, as well, because both those guys are at the bottom of their group standings right now. So yeah, once again, everything to play for between Sync and Solo Mission. Really surprised there that Sync managed to bring that. That's the biggest comeback I think we've seen so far in this entire tournament. So yeah, Sync is not letting himself get out of this one just yet. But Solo Mission, once again, you know, he's so good and meticulous, these kind of, you know, NH staking styles. And I'm not too sure what kind of style we're going to see next, but I'm hoping it's going to be maybe the max DMM setup, or one of those max setups where you'll see loads more KO potential, way more momentum. I think Solo Mission and Sync can both probably, you know, do really well in those ones. It'll be very, very even.
Yeah, we have actually got all the information based down there of what's happening on the seedings based on these scores, and it has a lot of wild combinations, which I actually cannot wait to talk about once everything's said and done. There's nothing concrete right now. The only thing we know that's concrete is, unfortunately, Doobies has unfortunately been eliminated. But all these fights are so crucial, and we can explain afterwards. But Ian, you've got what you asked for, the max Deadman mode setup between Sync and Solo Mission here in round 5 of this Crusader Classic 2026 right now. Sync frozen in place by Solo Mission. Both players 100% special attack. Void Waker trade. Oh my goodness, that could have actually been a kill. Both players with the Venge trinkets as well, but that was huge. I don't know if there was chances on both sides of the boards right there, but that was some big damage.
Yeah, the Venge trinket right there, retaliating 75% of the damage every 30 seconds, giving a lot more KO potential if timed perfectly. Right now, Sync does have the DD advantage. He's using those javelins, and he's doing a lot of damage with them. It goes for a Void Waker spec, his last special attack. Solo Mission still has 75% special attack in the chamber, but at the moment, Sync is up quite a bit of HP. Right now, Solo, though, catching that freeze, which is beautiful. Solo Mission needs to win this fight to qualify, and Sync needs to beat him 2 more times to qualify as well. Everything to play for. Sync praying melee because he knows Solar Mission does have that VLS special attack. Now praying mage chucking on the range prey as well. Actually, accordingly, very, very well. 37 javelin. Sync's javelins are absolutely insane and impeccable right now. Sync going distance, knowing that Solar Mission is about to be unfrozen. Solar Mission does catch that freeze, though. Steps underneath, gets hit at 23, but it's not a freeze since he had freeze immunity. Sync now almost got special attack back. Solar Mission does have special attack, chucks up Vengeance, but it's a low hit. Sync reminding to chuck up his Vengeance as well. A lovely javelin exchange there, but not too much damage, both off prayer. 31 on to Solar Mission. He goes for a VLS, but it's on prayer, and it's a 0. Sync needed to pray that accordingly, and he did. Solar Mission right now still has 45%. He's going to have either a Void Waker or 2 VLSs at his disposal. But looking at the inventory supplies right now, used his last bit of hard food, a 40+ javelin into a Blood Barrage, 21 as well. Solar Mission doing so well right now, 15 as well, increasing his lead, a 21-2. Everything is connecting right now for the man, and he has 55% special attack, which is going to be able to utilize any second now.
This is incredible. Another 44. The VLS, maybe. Oh, he's frozen by Sync. 42. Sync is 1 HP right now. What is he going to go for? He goes for the VLS just to swing, though. Didn't bleed the spec. He still has a spec right now. If he gets a big barrage here, he can actually hold the momentum. And 11 VLS spec off prayer on ropes as well, with a Vengeance up. That could have been huge as well for Solomon. A big barrage comes back from Sync into 40. The max hit possible in the entire tournament. And Sync is just slowing things down. He's 43 HP, and he is out of food. Sync knows he needs to win 3 in a row right now to qualify. I do believe if Solar Mission does take Sync down right now, we're not going to be saying goodbye to Sync immediately because we have one more fight between these two. But we will not be seeing Sync again fighting anybody else. And he falls to the 60 VLS. And as far as I'm aware, Solar Mission has guaranteed himself
Brought
a
it back.
qualification
Nice.
in the top 8 today to play for $10,000. And he has a round to spare. He can just die to Sync if he wants. Unfortunately, I do believe Sync is not possible to qualify right now. Solar Mission has locked it in.
Yeah, Sync had an incredible comeback towards the end of that fight as well. He almost brought it back for himself, but I think Solar Mission's utilization of the special attacks.
Well, Solar Mission brought it back. The Snake brought it back because he was down and out.
Opportunity onto Sync, guaranteed him a win. That was a really incredible fight to watch. Unfortunately for Sync, as you mentioned, he is now going to be sent home. This will be his last fight coming up momentarily, but he should hold his head very, very high, because in that room right there, we have some of the best NH and some of the best PKers in the scene, not just in the content creator space, although they are all-stars in their own right as well. But yeah, Sync has been able to go toe-to-toe with all of them, and he showed up today and done a fantastic job of it.
Sync as well just showing that he is just a RuneScape player, solid in everything that he actually does right there. But again, I've just been thinking to myself, when we do see these final seedings in a moment, how ridiculously stacked the last 8 players are going to be, and they all have to compete against each other as well towards that $10,000. Right now, it's just qualifying some seedings. A lot of the best have already locked in their place, but when they see their matchups, we are going to have some outrageously high skill set fights coming up after a break, but we do still have a few more to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, seeing the DMM set up there once again, the Void Wakers, the VLSs, love to see that. So we are in for a treat once more. The Sync versus Solar Mission final battle of the day. They have the Halberds, they have the Void Waker. It's the max setup going on right now. Here we go. Sync getting expect a Void Waker off prayer by Solar Mission. It's almost a 60 hit. That is huge. Stepping underneath as well. Solar Mission extending the start of the fight in his favor. Solar Mission now being frozen in place. Sync wants to win a battle against Solar Mission. Even if he's going out today, obviously he wants to come out on top in this battle. As we have 37 Halley, another Halley. It's a 0. As Bowie mentioned earlier, that Halley either hits 0s or 60s. There seems to be no in between. Sync going for Halley after Halley, all hitting 0s, going for the Void Waker special. Solar Mission does predict it, has the Prey Mage up. Both players now unfrozen, going for the freezes, and Solar Mission catches that freeze. He has special attack. Will Sync have to Prey Mage a lot? Looks like he's not. He's actually going for a Prey Mage now, going for the freeze, unable to catch it. Solar Mission now going for the Void Waker at 56. Low hit points for Sync. Unfortunately for Solo, though, they can't really follow up with any more damage. Sync getting the HP back up to the green bar as you should. Going for the freeze. Now Sync catches the freeze, and the momentum can be in his favor.
Again, there's Solar Mission with the big Void Waker right there, and we're just not seeing much damage at all come out from the Noxious Halberd. It's either a 0, it's either a 50. What it never hits is a 40, but what I can confirm is the winner of the 40 mil giveaway is Overclocked 1. My friend, congratulations. While we're watching Sync versus Solar Mission and Sync's final performance in the Crusader Classic, you, my friend, will be pocketing 40 million GP just for entering the giveaway. We will be having 10 mil giveaway for any and all KOs throughout the entirety of the tournament, so please stay tuned as well, because you could win yourself some money. But this right now, Solar Mission has confirmed his qualification into the top 8 to play for the $10,000 prize pool, and Sync is just putting on his final performance for us right now.
Oh yeah, no pressure for either of these players. They are just doing this for the love of the game and for Solar Mission to get a better seeding potentially as well going into the top 8. 49 Halley there from Sync, and to a 0 following up off Prayer as well. Sync does have special attacks. Solar Mission is going to keep that Prey Mage up a little bit more heavily than he should be. Looking at 40% special attack for Solar Mission 2. He's another Void Wave coming up soon as well. Solar Mission down to only 4 Anglerfish, half a brew. Sync has a few food advantage, but in these max setups, it's everything to play for. Anything can change in a matter of moments. Sync does get that freeze advantage though, so he can maybe extend his lead. A 24 Bolt of Prayer instead of a Bolt of Prayer. It's a 0. That's a chance on Solar Mission, around 40-something HP right there. Unlucky for Sync. He does have the Void Waker too. He could go for it any moment. Off Prayer, he goes for it. It's a 48, I think that was. Solar Mission down to only 37 hit points now. Has to eat up. He has 1 food remaining. I guess Blood Barrage as well from Sync. Sync going for the refreeze. He doesn't manage to catch it. Looks like Solar Mission catches the freeze. Can eat his last food momentarily. Sync though has 5 food left and also a 2-dose brew. If he drinks that brew though, he does not have any extra potions. A 50 Void Waker off Prayer for Solar Mission. That's so much needed damage for him. He has the momentum at the moment. Goes the distance as Sync's about to be unfrozen as well. Solar Mission right now trying to catch the freeze, but splashing. Sync now needs to catch it as well. Both players pretty much out of supplies. 29 bolts from Solar Mission, but he does get the freeze as a result of going for it. It was on hit Prayer though, and then Sync does have 50% push attack. 26 bolt. He goes for it. It's a 42. Solar Mission out food, out of luck. 4 hit points. Does get the redemption flick though. Sync going for the barrage. Needs to connect. 1 more hit. Goes for the Halley as well. 28 hit points now for Solar Mission. Can he bring this one back, Bodhi?
I think Sync knows that he's unfortunately unable to qualify, so he does not want to go out without a fight right now. And again, he would have been the people's champion if that bolt connected on Solar. The KO would have come in. The 10 million coins would have entered the pocket of one of you viewing. But right now, this fight is not over. There is still a chance for Solar Mission to take Sync's final glory and prevent him from getting the comeback. The Halberd trades a 20 for a 0 right now. Solar Mission's considering what to go for. He goes for the Halley through the Prayer. It's a 23. Solar Mission back in the first. He goes for the Blood Barrage. It's a splash. Sync bolts a 0 on the redemption. He goes for the Halley.
Wow.
Wait, it's a double death.
No.
No.
Does that mean rematching this fight? That was unbelievable. Look at Sync. Like, what can I do? I want to come back from Solar Mission right there. He played it so well. Sync was up about 100 damage towards the fight, but we're talking about how the max setup, you can do so much. You guys at home are going to be pleased to know we're going to have a rematch. We're going to see Sync versus Solar Mission. Run it back one more time, Voti.
That was a great fight to watch, and that means we're going to see some Noxious Halberds again. I feel like the Noxious Halberd is hitting more through Prayer right now. Every time I see one off Prayer, it's always minimal damage, if not just a clean 0. But we do have a rule today, 2 rules today, one of which is if anyone attacks before the fireworks go off, it's an immediate restart as well, just so that there's no complaints later that could be an unfair advantage. However, the second rule is if there is a double death in any way, regardless of a player dying first on our screen, we will be replaying the fights. Now, unfortunately, Solar Mission, well, not unfortunately, but Solar Mission has already confirmed the qualification. Sync cannot qualify, so even with this replay, he will not be able to get himself onto the board. But again, he can bring us another debut fight here and have a lot of fun.
Yeah, exactly. And once again, Sync, being able to go toe-to-toe with these top 12 participants, a lot of people don't really realize how good he is at NH, knowing him for his Inferno, for his Blorva, one of the first, person in the game to get all those achievements done. Yeah, he's an absolute gamer at heart. So we get the pleasure of watching them run it back one more time. What a comeback right there, though, from Solar Mission. Once again, being down 100 to 200 damage. Sync looked like he had it in the bag for that 2-1 victory. And then Solar Mission was like, nope, I'm not giving that up either. This is all to play for. All the stress is off right now. Solar Mission secured his spot going forward. Sync, unfortunately, again, he is out. But doing it for the love of the game, doing it for the love of the content for you guys at home and us, get the pleasure of casting these battles once again.
Yep, and there is obviously another chance for Sync to potentially get that ball onto Solar Mission. And I just got another 10 mil for you guys. I do believe when the Barrage KO occurred, Solar Mission, of course, was out of food as he died, but I think Sync did eat all of his food, so it's not actually a KO going back and forth. So unfortunately, no 10 mil. But we are going to be able to see them fight once again in this arena. And again, for anyone that has just joined, Sync unfortunately cannot qualify. So this will be his final performance for us in the Crusader Classic 2026.
Yeah, unless they, of course, double death again. We'll get another rematch. Yeah, we'll be jumping in momentarily. Sync versus Solar Mission in the max setup, the Halberd, the ZCB, the Void Waker guaranteed damage. You see Sync opening with that Halley on the ropes against Solar Mission. Both players going for the freeze. Solar Mission is the one to catch it first. Steps underneath right there, and who's going to be the first to utilize that special attack off Prayer? Solar Mission went for it, actually missed the spec bar, goes for it again, a 28 whack into a 35 Void Waker special. Solar Mission getting the first bit of damage onto Sync, a slight advantage, but obviously in a few hits everything can change. Sync already dealing a 32 of ZCB hit off Prayer that are just bolting over and over again. Solar Mission just having to pray mage, and as a result, Sync gets a lot of damage back, about 60 damage turnaround from those couple of ZCBs. Going for the freeze now, both players frozen away from each other, a range and mage hybrid fight, but Solar Mission sitting a little bit low. He's going to have to heal up right now, probably utilize his bruise so he can keep doing damage back, not missing any hits. But Sync looking to have a slight advantage when it comes to damage in the first maybe minute or so of this fight.
Solar Mission knows as well that Sync has a full spec bar on his Void Waker, but Sync knows that Solar Mission knows this, and therefore Solar is going to be Protect from Mage very heavy until Sync can dump at least one of those Void Wakers. As you can see, Solar Mission is not turning off that prey. It is a 50 from the Halberd, but it was retaliated by Solar Mission with a big bolt, because again, both of these players are just camping. Prey Mage, a huge ball to Solar Mission, could be momentum here, but unfortunately it's not. It's a catch on the freeze. The freeze on Solar Mission, he is frozen in place. Sync gets frozen as well, but the Noxus Halberds can close this distance, but what cannot close this distance is Sync's Void Waker specs, which are still on 100%. I feel like Solar Mission has not changed his prayer a single time this fight, and it's actually working for him.
It is, yeah. Sync actually being up maybe a little bit of damage, but oh my god, what a big amount of hits. He goes for the Halley, goes for the Void Waker, goes for the Halley again, faking it back and forth. That was on 59 hit points, maybe a chance. A 7 on 60 as well, close to being a chance on Solar Mission. Solar Mission taking a lot of damage. He does have that freeze advantage, but Solar Mission going to have his extra Void Waker special attack coming up very soon. Sync still not having sent a single special attack. Sync has more HP in the inventory though, quite a bit more. But obviously with Solar Mission having that special attack as well, 2 specs versus 2 specs, everything can change in a matter of seconds. Sync does get frozen first. Solar Mission trying to get underneath. Now he can go for those Void Wakers. Will Sync know that he has 2 coming up though? That is the question. He knows he has 1, doesn't expect the second round. Sync does get the freeze. Here comes one, 37 through the prayer. Well played by Sync, but Solar Mission almost has another, which he can maybe catch him on prayer with as well. A 37 finally, Sync getting that first spec off a 23 bolts as well. Looking at Solar Mission right now, he's 100 HP, trying to stay alive, going for a Void Waker back with a prey melee. It's a 24. Beautiful prey there from Sync, and now Solar Mission does catch the freeze.
Sync now has Solar Mission once again completely out of food, but in these setups, That noxious halberd can say anything it wants with the big damage. Right there, a Void Waker from Sync onto Solar Mission off prayer, only the 25 right there. And Solar Mission, all of this damage is hitting right now, except that noxious halberd does not connect. But Sync does catch a freeze. He has a full 20 seconds to work with right now. Solar Mission has only 1 HP, but that means if Sync gets anything here that is not a 0, Solar Mission will die. He regenerates to 2 HP though. Now he has a very small window to get this redemption, but will Sync allow it? No, he does not. And Sync defeats Solar Mission 2-1. Unfortunately, does not qualify, but Sync goes out swinging with that execution down onto Solar Mission. Again, commiserations to Sync. We're not going to see him again anymore. He's played absolutely fantastically in every single aspect, especially Castle Wars and yesterday, the 3v3s. He's done so well, but he is confirmed to be one of the few players eliminated. Solar Mission, on the other hand, has managed to qualify himself into the top 4 in bracket A, I believe. Congratulations to him. We have one more set of fights to see in just a moment before we show the confirmed and locked in brackets.
Yeah, that was incredible to watch. Honestly, the rematch as well taking place. Sync going out swinging, honestly, putting respect on his name. Make sure you guys do, go over to his chat at some point and give him some props as well, as I believe he is live for maybe a little bit longer now as well. But yeah, no, that was a great fight to watch. It could have gone either way at the end. Honestly, that was so neck and neck. It really was. Like, honestly, that last Halley from Solar Mission could have changed it as well. It was an incredible sight to see. So yeah, props to Sync, commiserations as you mentioned, and congratulations to Solar Mission, who's been going through as part of the top 8.
Yep, that is true. Solar Mission, again, did fantastically. He's actually the #1 qualifier in the second qualifiers, actually, on the US West ping. But today, we are jumping in to Doobies versus Vancouver. Unfortunately, to start this fight on a low note, Doobies has no chance to qualify on this board, regardless of if he beats Vancouver 3 times in a row. But Vancouver has everything to play for right now. We will not spoil what needs to occur right now for Vancouver to qualify, but Doobies has a lot of power right now and nothing to lose.
Absolutely, Doobies, this is not a man you want to be going up against when he's got nothing to lose. He plays till the bitter end, despite the situation presented to himself. Vancouver getting frozen in place. Vancouver looking to be up a little bit of damage, though. Maybe the AGSs were a little bit stronger at the beginning of the fight. Getting hit quite a bit by Doobies now, though. Doobies does have that freeze advantage. Vac doing an amazing job, though, of retaliating damage. Hit for hit, not giving an inch to Doobies. Doobies now has special attack in the chamber, whereas Vancouver has sent both of his early on. Has to pray melee quite a bit as a result. Does catch that freeze, though. Gets underneath. Decides to go for a barrage as well, but Doobies stops him in his tracks. Now, as a result, Vancouver has to really keep up that pray melee quite a lot, which means Doobies can just bolt over and over again, getting lots of hits off prayer. There's a bolt. It's an 8 only from the bolt proc as well. Here comes the AGS. Vancouver actually did see it coming and prayed accordingly. Slight staff bash there from Vancouver, but he's still in this. Doobies with the 24 into the refreeze, going for it. Doobies got refrozen there. Vancouver going distance, making it harder for Doobies to actually catch any freezes on him right now. Vancouver with the freeze advantage. And looking at the inventories right now, Boaty, looks like Vancouver is up quite a bit of damage.
I mean, this is the first time I think we've seen the circus set up in the very first debut fight between 2 individuals. Again, I don't know who had the highest seeding in yesterday, but whoever chose it right now, I'm going to hope it's Vancouver, because it does look like he is actually ahead against Doobies. If Doobies did choose this one and he's behind on his own setup, it's never a situation you want to be in, but at least as you're the higher seeding, you get to choose the 3rd setup as well, so you'll at least have 2 setups that you'll be potentially feeling like you might have odds in. But again, everybody here has had plenty of experience on all of these setups right now, so even if you think how you have an edge, it's not going to be that much of an edge. But right now, Doobies 5 hard food in the inventory. We have Vancouver with the 4 hard food and the 3 doses of brew as well. Good potions. He's not opting in for the Mage's Book over on Vancouver, whereas Doobies has a full vertical switch right there, so maybe he's also not opting in for the Mage's Book because the click is quite far away.
Yeah, keeping things nice and simple to make sure you're just connecting all of those hits off prayer as best as you can. Tuning into Vancouver right now. Let's go. He's going for a bit of a movement right there. Actually, this fight is way closer than I thought it was. Only 10 damage in it right now. Just like that, Doobies is now up a little bit of DPS. Vancouver now going for the barrage. Catches the freeze, gets the pray melee up, but it's a max spec through the prayer for Doobies. Very unfortunate there for Vancouver. decides to pot up once again, goes for the AGS. It's on prayer though, it's only a 12. That's not great for him. And now, looks like we have a Vancouver trying to catch that freeze, and able to do so, taking a lot of damage as well. Doobies right now about to maybe close this one out. Vancouver trying to get the redemption flicks. Can he manage to do it though? Can he stay alive? As Moti mentioned, he needs to win this. He's not able to get any redemption blocks. Maybe Moti, what's going to happen?
I mean, I'll tell you now, Doobies is not going to give up under any circumstances right now. But will Vancouver be able to pull out all the damage needed to put Doobies onto the very verge? Doobies catches the freeze onto Vancouver.
Oh!
He's got the redemption. He does not have the prayer up in time, but he has redemption again. He has the protect from mage. You've got a bolt onto the half roams there as well. It's a 0 right now. Doobies looks like he's completely out of food as well. Both players are on the very verge of being deleted, and Doobies manages to take Vancouver down in this fight. Doobies bringing one on the board against Vancouver, and I am just going to explain what is about to occur right now. Doobies unfortunately cannot qualify, but Vancouver can. And the only way he can do that right now is to win 2 fights in a row against Doobies. And if he fails, Vancouver will enter the elimination bracket with Doobies. If he succeeds, Mutz will be joining Doobies in the elimination.
Oh my, okay, and that fight was so close. There was like 20 HP left in it. Doobies, you saw celebrating there, being like, yes, a victory, let's go. I might be out of the tournament, but I'm still here, showing up, showing what I can do. It feels like he's always, got something to prove. That man plays till the bitter end as best as he possibly can. We love to see that dedication, the love of the game for Doobies. But yeah, Vancouver now, oh my God, does he know that as well? What amount of pressure that you've got to win back after losing once, especially with how close it was to have to win 2 rounds back to back against Doobies. That is a lot to deal with.
I mean, again, Vancouver's in control of this situation right now. He can lock it and he can get those 2 wins. Mutz has to only look on and see. If Doobies beats Vancouver again, Mutz guarantees a qualification going into the 3rd fight. If Vancouver beats Doobies, Mutz still does not know what happens right there. If Vancouver wins 2 in a row, Mutz is eliminated. If Doobies wins any from now, Mutz will qualify. So right now, Doobies winning can't qualify himself, but Doobies winning will qualify Mutz.
Wow, that's actually nuts right now. So Vancouver or Mutz, who's it gonna be? Well, we're jumping into the next one. Right now, we are looking at the max Deadman mode setup. Both these players having PK'd in max DM setups many times over the years. They also have that Vengeance Trinket, the VLS, the Void Waker, and those Javelins that are so nasty. Constant 40s that we saw earlier from Oda Block. Both players right now, though, caught in a barrage. Both frozen too far away from each other to actually utilize them. But any second now, they'll both be unfrozen. Vancouver maybe winning that exchange slightly. We see a Javelin coming in from Doobies. Vancouver retaliating with a freeze. Doobies getting caught right now. Vancouver, though, unfrozen, not stepping in, not stepping closer, keeping out of range of Doobies' Javelins. Very interesting play here from Vancouver, just deciding to go for barrages over and over again. He goes for a Javelin, but it's a long-range Javelin right there. The Javelins are 6 tile range, so maybe that was a bit of strategy there from Vancouver, but Doobies also retaliates with one as well. Now closing the gap. Doobies is unfrozen first, going in for a Void Waker. It's on the brawl, but it was off prayer. It was a 67 on the Vengeance. Vancouver, if he got the VLS off there, he maybe could have actually anti-stacked Doobies out and got a KO. Doobies now going to start regenerating special attack. Vancouver is caught in place before he can retaliate with a special attack of his own.
I was going to say Vancouver was staring at him with the VLS, and I was like, why did he not launch it? Maybe he misclicked, maybe he was on a cooldown, maybe he just was frozen, but we know that Doobies came in with the Void Waker, which means he has to step into the Vestus Longsword range from Vancouver. The Vengeance from Vancouver was so beautiful, but because he never followed it with the VLS, it didn't quite pull off what it could have done. All it needed was something like a 40. Jumping into Vancouver's POV right now, though, I do not know why he didn't get that, but there must be something on his end, a food delay, or maybe it was just a misclick. Unfortunate for him now, especially if he loses this fight, knowing that he could have just KO'd Doobies in the moment, gave 10 mil to the audience and guaranteed himself progressing. He's leaning over that Venge Trinket right now. Is he going to get it? It's a 0 on the VLS. That could have been huge.
Yeah, that was a beautiful Venge Trinket into the VLS. Honestly, the best one I've seen so far today in the tournament. He is frozen in place right now, though, from Doobies. Looking at the tracker below, looks like to be only about 30 damage difference in this right now. And Vancouver does have more special attack. As we know, those VLSs can hit 60 pluses. The Void Waker can hit around a 70 as well. Vancouver now trying to hit Doobies off prayer, but looks like Doobies actually doing better with the off prayer hits currently, extending the lead in that exchange. 27 VLS off prayer for Vancouver, though. Retaliated by a 21 by Doobies. Another 9 by Doobies. Vancouver there keeping the prey melee up and praying so well accordingly. Now trying to go for that freeze. Both players frozen in place at the exact same time. A range and mage battle. Still not too much in this. Vancouver's going to have 2 special attacks after this freeze, most likely. And despite being down a little bit of damage, those 2 VLSs or 1 Void Waker can completely change the landscape of this fight. We see a 43 Javelin into a 10 Javelin as well from Doobies, though, extending his lead further. Vancouver going for the VLS, and he gets it off prayer. It's a 0 on Doobies. Doobies goes for the refreeze, and Vancouver has to catch this freeze. Able to do so. 36 Javelin there from Doobies. He's in KO range. 42 hit points. A Javelin or just a VLS whack as well could take him down. Vancouver, Vengeance into the Void. Oh, the VLS with the Vengeance stack. That was beautifully played as well. Same game tick. Doobies, though, keeping full HP. One more hit. 12 HP for Vank. There it is, the VLS, and just like that, he takes him out. That means Vank lost twice, Boaty. What does that mean for Vancouver?
He looks so sad. Look at him. He's just, Vancouver's been absolutely electric with the energy. And looking at that, he knows that unfortunately he has been eliminated by Doobies. Mutz going in with the hug onto Doobies there, as we know that Vancouver being 0-2'd by Doobies has 100% locked in Mutz in the top 4 of the bracket to play for the $10,000. And now Vancouver is going to have a rematch against Doobies where neither of them are qualifying and both of them are confirmed to be eliminated. But Ian, there's one player that's also eliminated that the stream don't know about yet. We know who it is. We're not going to explain yet. I'm going to wait for the seeding to go because it's a very interesting one. But other than that, we will have one more fight between Vancouver and Doobies, both of which have been eliminated in bracket B. Mutz secures his spot, thanks to Doobies.
Yeah, honestly, seeing Mutz fly over to Doobies right there, give him a good hug. He's like, yes, thank you so much, Doobies. And Doobies, just ecstatic to be here. I will say as well, though, Vank played that so well. I think, maybe just missed out slightly on the damage. Some of those Vengeance trinket with the VLS and the Void Waker, props to Vancouver there. I've got to put respect on his name. They are the cleanest ones that we've seen all day today. Perfectly timed. The only one that he missed out on was that VLS on Doobies when he came for the Void Waker. That could have been a KO. And I'm sure when he watches that back, he'll be kicking himself that he didn't manage to pull that off. But we are jumping in to another fight. Vancouver versus Doobies. Nothing to play for. Just respect on the names of these players. Just having fun with it and closing this one out in the normal NH setup. Take it away, Boaty.
I mean, if I was Vancouver right now, I'd be wanting to curb stomp Doobies into the ground in this fight. A 250 hit point lead minimum is what I'd be playing for. And he almost dies immediately. That would have been the salt in the wound. That would have been the nail in the coffin right there for Vancouver. We would have needed security in the room right now with the LAN if Vancouver got KO'd by Doobies right there. But again, going back to that previous one, Vancouver's Venge Trinket's beautiful. I was watching him. He was timing them. But again, it looked like he was putting a lot of his thought process into trying to time those Vengeances. And it might have made him play slightly inferior throughout the actual fight, which is slightly more important. Again, if you get the anti-stack, it doesn't matter how you played. It only needs to work one time in that fight. But Venge Trinkets are gone now. Vancouver completely locked in on this gear setup as there's nothing else to really focus on except for the fight.
Absolutely right. Now looking at the inventories, Vancouver, not out of this one yet. Both players having used those claw specs. We'll see some more coming back later on. Beautiful blood barrage there from Vancouver. Off prayer, Doobies having to restore his stat back up again after drinking some brews. A 40 whip from Vancouver. Steps away. Nice barrage there as well. A whipper as he steps back in again. A lot of hits off prayer for Vancouver, but not too much connecting. Doobies has the freeze advantage. Unfortunately for Vancouver, he doesn't manage to catch Doobies back. Doobies has free reign, can just skate around the arena. Goes max distance right there. Beautiful maneuvement by Doobies. Goes for a ball off prayer as well, but is stopped in his tracks. Vancouver catches the freeze. Any second now, he'll be unfrozen. Now he can close that gap and start utilizing the whip for the free hits. There's one free hit. Goes for another one. He'll be able to get another one here with a ball as well. It's a 0 off prayer on the robes, unfortunate for Vancouver. And now he's going the distance again. A bolt off prayer once more by Doobies, but Doobies retaliates with the freeze. Now Doobies, will he step in closer for the whip himself? Steps underneath, steps back out again. Beautiful movement right there, trying to daze and confuse Vancouver to miss some hits. Doobies gets a free hit here as well, utilizing the whip's slightly higher attack speed. A nice barrage off prayer there as well, but just nothing connecting for Doobies until he gets the 32 bolt. Now going for that freeze. Vancouver having to just eat.
I gotta go, but you can finish watching it on TikTok.com/Crusaders.
Going to be able to get free reign with that DD advantage.
Every single brew has been chugged on the side of Doobies right now.